your station.
It's a refreshing lifestyle.
Citi FM 97.3.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Rise above the noise.
This is Citi
'Cause
Kweku JC with time being 27 minutes past the hour. The unmistakable, irresistible voice. Onyame wasida ye bebre. There's too many things to be grateful for. Don't make an inventory of your need. Make an inventory of your seed. What have you been giving? What is a seed? Something you have been giving to create something else you've been promised. That's what a seed is. Time is a seed. Attention is a seed. Money is a seed. People are seeds that germinate to become great harvests. So this morning we're taking stock as a nation. 2 days to Independence Day. We are a blessed nation with so much to be thankful for. Yes, there are issues to be dealt with. There are problems to be solved. But when we approach the independence, we have a lot to be thankful to God for giving us great forefathers who thought through some of the things that they put in place to keep the nation at peace in an oasis of uncertainty, dictatorship, and even civil war. We've never had that inglorious distinction of having had a civil war. Nigeria have had some, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Burkina Faso, Mali, and even some of the countries in the Sahel going through difficult times. But the Lord has been faithful. So this morning I want to say thank you, Lord, for the nation. God has a nation ahead. That's the Ghana acronym. God has a nation ahead. That's what some people say. I like it. So before you complain about the next thing you need, thank God for the things He's giving you, the things He's made available to us as a nation. So we're joining Kweku JC this morning on the Citi Breakfast Show to say thank you. 6:29, we're jumping into the headlines. So many newspapers, different angles to different stories. Headlines coming your way this morning. It's an interactive show. The Heritage Caravan is on its third day already. From the Greater Accra region to the Volta region, through the Oti region and the Northern region. Made a quick drive through the Northeast region. Now they are firmly settled in the Upper East region of Bolgatanga. Somebody should tell me, what does Bolgatanga mean? That is your question for the day. Bolgatanga. Oh, I love Bolgatanga. I've been there many times. It's an amazing place. Bolgatanga. So today we'll be joining the Caravanites at imagine driving from Ho to Bolgatanga. Oh my God. It's an experience of a lifetime. And yesterday at the Gbewa Palace, the Lion Kingdom, the Yana himself conferred he gave our CEO all the colors, the full colors of the Dagbon state. He declared him the media colossus. He declared him the media avatar. And he opened the waves for more exploits. Oh, Yana, we are grateful. We are coming to a community near you. Today we are visiting the crocodiles with a lot of determination. If you don't know what the Heritage Caravan is, stay tuned. Later in the morning, we continue our discussion on people who have done great stuff. And today we're dealing with a very interesting region. The Greater Accra region has some very, very, very amazing people who have contributed to the man who founded the biggest newspaper in the 1930s. Oh yeah, his great grandson is a journalist. Yeah, the man founded a newspaper in the 1930s.
Wow.
And that newspaper, the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe,
You don't mean it.
were writing in that newspaper.
No
Oh,
kidding.
the man, he used to do like movie shows and things.
Wow.
The first proper millionaire. Oh,
My
Charlie, no,
God.
the guy is correct. We are dealing with him today.
Millionaire.
He's a media mogul, 1930s. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, the guy is solid. We'll deal with that issue later today.
Listen.
All of that and more today on the newspaper review segment, brought to you by Total Excellium. New formula is additive enriched with its powerful 3-in-1 action. Cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. Experience the difference with Total Energies Excellium new formula. Choose quality, choose Excellium. And from the dreams of youth to the ambitions of adulthood, wherever you are on your journey, starting a career, building a family, growing a business, or even running a country, we are here for you. Fidelity Bank, we did brutal. As we just can say, we did put you. Every goal deserves the chance to flourish, and with hard work, dedication, and a strong belief in yourself, the seed of greatness is within reach. So trust in the journey. Let's talk, let's help, let's make it happen. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. And of course, Piva Beverages is also proud to be associated with this segment with our 5 distinct flavors. Can you name the 5 flavors?
So there is tangy.
Number 1.
There is cola.
Number 2.
There is orange.
Number
There's
3.
Orange.
Number
And
3.
there is grape.
Number 4.
And
Number 4.
It's finished. It's
There's
finished.
cocktail.
Cocktail. Oh, cocktail.
Cocktail.
Oh,
Cocktail.
cocktail. You know, I used to think it's the tail of the cocktail.
I tell you, I used to think so too. 0550032231 is the phone number. It's available at the local store near you. When we come back, we're jumping into the headlines.
Yes, sir.
The sun
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-32231. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now.
Go, the go. Go me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, yeah. So where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make I feel the gobe too small.
Go, the go.
Yo, Anna. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let's go. My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out your side. And when you dream, no say I live for you. And when you hustle every day, when you wanna go, anything you do, I live for you. If I believe I live your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I live your side, fidelity.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
All right, so it's 6:39. We're jumping into the newspaper review segment this morning. Caleb Kula is already here. What are the papers saying today?
Daily Graphic is starting with Mahama sounding an alarm. Economy needs radical overhaul. This was at the launch of the National Economic Dialogue, where resetting the economy was the main focus. Dr. Yamson calls for fresh start. None of Agenda 111 hospitals operational. This is the health minister now. E-Transat Ghana is set to drive digital payment future with advanced solutions.
Now, let's talk about the Ghanaian Times.
Ghanaian Times has an interesting angle on the National Economic Dialogue. I will see through all proposals. This is the president assuring, and man allegedly kills girlfriend, buries body in septic tank. Tragic story. Southern Ghana to experience heavy rains from March to June. This is with potential floods. This is GMET sounding an alarm ahead of time.
Daily Guide this morning. What
They
does it
say
say?
NPP left over 5 billion Ghana cedis in buffers. Amin Adam is speaking. Jachikwe saying to know fate on March 27. Government must improve delivery on promises. This is Mohammed Ibn Chambers. And we are back to doom so, Minority says.
The Chronicle this morning.
Chronicle, Minority drops major hint. Taxes galore in Mohammed's 2025 budget. New levies to be imposed on real estate, telecom, mining and others after abolishing e-levy and betting taxes. And Mahama, economy reeling from unprecedented levels of debt.
Let's go to the graphic business.
Over here, Ato Forson's 7 pillars for economic reset are detailed, and Finance Minister signals tax rationalization to boost revenue, and then state owned enterprises pose economic threat on account of poor performance.
The Economy Times.
Rolled over cocoa sales contract deprive Ghana benefits of production rebound. Government committed to develop Afina IX as it holds substantial gas amidst unitization withdrawal. Bridging the funding gaps, economists suggest key areas to consider to execute Mahama's initiatives.
The Daily Post.
Soon to be established gold board to take over our gold purchases role. This is the BOG governor saying, and National Economic Dialogue 2025 opens, comes with photographs from the
We have
event.
two more, the Business Analyst and then the New Republic.
We will resist any attempt to smuggle in new taxes. Minority wants Mahama. National Economic Dialogue is a defining moment for Ghana's future. Mahama tells stakeholders, and God has blessed you with wisdom to reset Ghana. Ishmael Yamson to Mahama. BOG suspends gold for oil policy. That's big here. And let's commit to Galamsey fight. Western Regional Minister urges the Ghana Immigration
end
Service.
the papers with the New Republic.
After landing Ghana in 721 billion Ghana cedi debt crisis, NPP runs from shame. Party leaders ducks out of economic dialogue in a hasty retreat. Comes with a photograph of former President Danko Akufo-Addo and former Vice President Dr. Baumia. And Mahama kickstarts dialogue, calls for ideas to lift economy from the ashes to growth. Bank of Ghana pulls plug on mysterious gold for oil scheme, and National Economic Dialogue sets bold agenda for transformation.
Let me give you a few headlines from online before we get into the details. City Newsroom is focused on the Gold for Oil program. It says gold for oil was never the solution to fuel price stability. They say we should refine locally. In other stories, Kwachio Fosu says MPP's absence from the dialogue was their own choice. Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister nominee for finances, the MPP's boycott is worrying. Dominic Aine confirms that he ordered the arrest of Professor Mayor Kumfi. The Hajj Village project is a commercial venture by GSC, according to Kwachi Ofosu. And then job losses, policy reversals expose flaws in economic dialogue. Kojo upon Nkrumah. Meanwhile, Minority tells Mahama, you didn't fix doom. So that argument continues in perpetuity. In other stories, 1 dead, several injured in Bolgatanga crash, and Ghana's economic growth stalled by lack of focus, according to Africa Center for Economic Transformation. Channel 1 News, Volta Region MPP government abandoned sea defense project. This is from the Some chief. Meanwhile, Setekpe says policy continuity is key to Ghana's economic growth. In other stories, stop complaining, mobilize funds. Minority tells Mahama, and will resist any attempt to smuggle in new taxes, according to the minority who spoke at a press briefing yesterday. Meanwhile, Channel 1 Heritage Caravan donate 10,000 CDs to the Dagbong overlord. Kumasi market congestion. Traders decry crime, filth, and accidents. Indeed, there's a lot of Kumasi-based stories in the news yesterday. I can't see them here, but the roads minister was in the Ashanti region. He ordered the closure of a particular bridge and also gave updates on some important road projects in that region. My Joy Online this morning, the lead story: consumers cannot be forced to pay higher tariffs to cover ECG's inefficiencies, after forcing calls for reform. Meanwhile, former Lands Minister Jinapo calls for clarity on proposed gold board, and public spending must be reformed to avoid economic collapse. This is the finance minister. Meanwhile, Stephen Amwa says we need to fix structural economic issues. Now, what is happening globally? Let me go to Bloomberg. Yes. Global trade war deepens as Trump hits Canada, Mexico, and China with tariffs.
Donatus.
I'm telling you. Meanwhile, he's also paused military aid to Ukraine after clash with Zelensky. Just it is scatter everywhere. Meanwhile, from the BBC, China and Canada retaliate as Trump tariffs take effect. So keep an eye on the whole tariff saga.
Yeah.
It will lead to higher prices everywhere.
Yeah.
GNA, legislature remains the heartbeat of Ghana's democracy. This is Alban Sumana. I was at the program and they were giving him fans.
Yes, sir.
They said, Father, oh, Father.
Father, oh, Father.
That thing shocked me.
Well, in the details of the papers, Mahama sounds alarm. Economy needs radical overhaul. Kester Aburam Crunchy writes for Daily Graphic. President John Dramani Mahama has issued a clarion call for a radical transformation of the economy, emphasizing the need for collective action to address the country's deep-seated economic challenges. Delivering the keynote address at the National Economic Dialogue in Accra yesterday, President Mahama painted a grim picture of the current economic situation and pointed out the devastating impact of years of financial mismanagement, irresponsible borrowing, and reckless spending. Quote, "We refuse to accept this as Ghana's reality. We reject the notion that economic hardship must be our norm. We refuse to surrender to the forces of stagnation and decline." Meanwhile, he's also been assuring that he will commit to his promises. He will see through them, and a lot of promises coming. Dr. Yamson has also said there is need for a fresh start, but the minority has been speaking already.
Let's deal with Dr. Yamson first.
Dr. Yamson is here on page 13. He says that business executive chairman of the National Economic Dialogue and Planning Committee, Dr. Ishmael Yamson, has said the time has come to make a fresh start for Ghana's economy by decisively breaking away from decades of unfulfilled potential. Now, in an address at the National Economic Dialogue yesterday, the statesman said the country's economic journey through 68 years of independence had not been spectacular. So now the finance minister was also said to he is set to present a new budget this week, and it is expected that it would incorporate recommendations from the consultative process as part of the government's economic research.
Let me give you
agenda.
another angle of what was said there. Atu Forson, the finance minister, did a presentation. He's quoted here on my joint line as saying that ECG is at the center of a financial crisis, draining billions from the national budget while struggling with inefficiencies and revenue loss. Now, according to the finance minister, he described ECG's operations as unsustainable and warned that if urgent reforms are not implemented, the country's energy sector could collapse under mounting debt. Now, he says ECG collects only 62% of the total electricity it distributes, etc., etc., etc. Now, he says that ECG cannot transfer its inefficiencies to the poor consumer. Now, there's a big conversation around whether people should pay more or whether it's ECG that needs to step up its game. The minister pointed out some key challenges in the electricity sector, and he says I'm sure it's possibly justifying why they want a private participant or why they want to privatize ECG. He urged all stakeholders, including government, agencies, private sector players, and ECG management, to commit to a turnaround plan that ensures long-term sustainability. The opposition is having none of that. They've been speaking.
Yes.
And Mohamed Amin Adam held a press conference yesterday. And he says $8.9 billion in reserves key to exchange rate stability and not Bahamas policies.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Kojo Nkrumah says job losses and policy reversals are exposing the flaws in the economic dialogue.
And on the energy sector, the minority is pushing back, and they are saying that we are back to Dumso. The minority in parliament has accused the government of plunging the country back into the dreaded power crisis, commonly known as Dumso, which has left businesses and households struggling. They argue that the current erratic power supply is reminiscent of the severe energy crisis Ghanaians endured between 2011 and 2016 under the same administration. Addressing the media in parliament yesterday, the minority expressed disappointment in President Mohammed's recent promise to fix the power challenges, stating that similar assurances in the past yielded no results. Meanwhile, they said they left 5 billion Ghana cedis in the buffers. This is Ernest Kofi Edu reporting from Parliament that the minority in Parliament has strongly refuted claims that the previous New Patriotic Party left no financial buffers for the new administration. According to them, as at the end of 2024, the NPP government left over 5 billion Ghana cedis in buffers from revenue collected by the Ghana Revenue Authority in Treasury main two accounts.
There's a lot of claims around what was left. For example, Ghanaian Times, NPP completed 3 hospitals and Agenda 111. Amin Adam, so there's a sort of ball worse on that. So Dr. Amin Adam at the same press conference has said that 3 district hospitals were successfully completed, and he was refuting claims by I think the current Minister of Health, that only 1 project was completed. Now he says that Chima Kwahuma Municipal Hospital in Trede, the Oforikro Municipal Hospital in Kokobing, and the Ahanta West Municipal Hospital in Bukuru were operational. He was speaking at a press briefing. Now, BOG suspends gold for oil program. This is citynewsroom.com. William now reporting that the Bank of Ghana has announced the suspension of the gold for oil program, citing policy and operational challenges that have led to financial losses. The initiative, designed to reduce reliance on foreign exchange for fuel imports and stabilize domestic fuel prices, has been temporarily halted. So that's a key word, temporarily halted, as the central bank assesses its economic strategies. In an interview with Bloomberg, Dr. Johnson Esiama acknowledged the setback, stating, "We have to incur some losses on that, so we have put the suspension on the trade." Now, in reacting to this, COPEC says the policy was never the solution to our fuel price stability in the long run. So this is Duncan Amwa. He's commended the governor for suspending the gold for oil program, and he says that the program, which was designed to reduce Ghana's reliance on foreign exchange for fuel imports, is not the solution, and that what we need is to refine our crude here locally.
Well, the minority is still speaking. They are saying taxes galore in Mahama's 2025 budget. Minority members in parliament have hinted that the John Mahama government is going to introduce a number of new taxes in the yet-to-be-read 2025 budget statement after it has abolished e-levy and betting taxes, which were all introduced by the immediate past Akufo-Addo government. According to them, the new taxes will be imposed on mining, telecommunication and financial services, presenting what they described as the true state of the nation. In Parliament on Monday, March 3, 2025, the minority accused the Mahama government of setting the stage for an extensive tax hike by denigrating the economy. Speaking through the former Minister for Finance, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, the minority claimed that the introduction of new taxes is to meet a revenue target of 200 billion Ghana cedis this fiscal year.
All right, so the Agenda 111 is still in the news.
Yes.
So Rebecca Duho is reporting in the graphic that none of the 111 hospitals are operational, or none of the Agenda 111 are operational. So what we'll do today is to try and get to the bottom of this. Now, on back page of graphic, PMAG calls for probe into opioid import and distribution. The Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association of Ghana has called on the government and the Food and Drugs Board or Authority, the Pharmaceutical Council and all relevant stakeholders to launch an immediate investigation into the importation and distribution of unapproved drugs containing tapentadol and carisoprodol. It said it was important to identify and prosecute those responsible for the importation of these substances into the country. In a statement, Nana Dr. Samuel Amutobin, association, I think is the president, noted or expressed concern about the alarming revelations in the recent BBC Africa investigation, which exposed the alleged importation and distribution of unapproved drugs containing tapentadol and carisoprodol in Ghana. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Right, but to some other stories here. Man allegedly kills girlfriend, buries body in septic tank. Daniel Jirasa is writing from Sunyani in Ghanaian Times. 26-year-old man, Kwabena Ajay, who allegedly killed his girlfriend and buried the body in a septic tank at Sunyani Magazine near the Bono Regional Fire Command, has been arrested by the police. A suspect who claimed he was being haunted by the ghost of his 19-year-old Nigerian girlfriend, only identified as testimony, later handed himself over to the police in the company of his uncle. Ajay was said to have elbowed his girlfriend, who fell unconscious and died instantly after a misunderstanding ensued between them.
Now, I wanted to take you to a few more stories here. If you give me a minute, there's a concern about what's happening globally with Trump and the tariffs that he's imposing, and then the retaliatory measures coming in. I'm going to give you those stories shortly, but I just wanted to deal with a couple of things. So this story about the Hajj thing is not going away. Felix Kwachofosu says Hajj Village project is a commercial venture by Ghana Airports Company Limited. Yesterday, he was interviewed on Eyewitness News in reaction to concerns about why the state is involved in putting up such a structure. Minister for Government Communications has said that the Hajj Village project is a purely commercial venture undertaken by the Ghana Airports Company Limited. Addressing concerns about its financing and management, Kwachofosu emphasized that the project is driven by business consideration rather than government subsidies or political influence. His comments come amid concerns that public funds were being used to support the facility, which serves as a transit point for Ghanaian pilgrims traveling to Mecca. However, in an interview on Eyewitness News on Monday, he dismissed such claims. He reiterated that GACL operates as a commercial entity and engages in revenue generation projects to sustain its operations. So this story is not going away. People are not convinced. In fact, there's a story on Class FM which is quoting Domelevo, a former Auditor General, strongly criticizing governments, arguing that his decision to prioritize the construction of the Hajj village is misplaced use of resources. Domelevo expressed this concern that such a project is unnecessary, particularly when the country is still grappling with the financial fallout from the $58 million spent on the National Cathedral, with little progress to show. But
there's a story I want to draw attention to, page 11, Daily Graphic. Illegal mining poses significant threat to education in Upper East. Bishop Agenta is speaking. Gilbert Mauli Agbe is writing from Bolgatanga. The operations of illegal mining, popularly referred to as Galamsey, continue to pose a significant danger to education. Bishop of Navrongo Bolgatanga Diocese of the Catholic Church, Most Reverend Alfred Agenta, has said. He said school children of school age continued to be lured into the business of illegal mining and exploited as well by the illegal miners to the detriment of the education, especially at the basic level. He noted that many children in these areas, such as Boko West, Nabdam, Talensi and other areas with gold deposits, had abandoned school and have rather ventured into illegal mining, a development which would have serious consequences on the future of the children.
This is really, really troubling. Now, I wanted to just mention on the back page of the Times, Volkswagen Ghana to roll out vehicle financing. This is a program you were at. Volkswagen Ghana is set to roll out a vehicle financing scheme by the second quarter of the year to enable Ghanaians to acquire locally assembled brand new VW cars. The initiative was when taking off is aimed at making Ghanaians own their cars from the VW brand and create a culture of buying new cars at flexible payment terms. Now, internationally, China and Canada have announced retaliatory action as President Donald Trump of the US tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and China come into effect. Canada has vowed 25% tariffs on $150 billion worth of US imports. China has announced a 10-15% tariff on US agricultural imports and is also targeting US firms with retaliatory action. Now, Trump has doubled the levy on Chinese imports to 20% in response to accusations that China is not doing enough to stop the flow of what they call fentanyl into the US. So US markets dropped and Asian markets turned jittery at the possibility of a trade war. Now, experts have warned American consumers will likely face higher costs for certain products. And bro, it will affect all of us.
My goodness, every one of us. And we are to expect more rains, those of us down south.
Tell me about
Southern Ghana to experience heavy rains between March and June with potential floods.
Is it?
GMET is warning. Ghana Meteorological Agency has warned of heavy rains across southern Ghana with potential flooding, strong winds, and health risks in the coming months. Mrs. Francisca Mate, Deputy Director, Research and Applied Meteorology, said the March to June period was the main rainy season for areas below the 8th parallel north, including Accra, Tema, Salt Pond, Ada, Akachi, Akuse, Aburi, Koforidua, and other coastal and inland towns. And already, Bernard, we are having cholera issues, plus the rain. Wahala.
That was the newspaper review. Coming up next is the City Business News.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
EcoBank is proud to be associated with the City Business News. Don't be scammed. Fraud activities are on the rise, and therefore EcoBank is urging you to be vigilant. Don't trust phone calls, text messages, or other solicitations for your card number, your password, your PIN, your OTP, or other personal details. EcoBank mobile app can only be upgraded at the App Store or the Play Store. Bank account details can be updated only at an EcoBank branch. For more information, call us toll free 0800 003 225. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Fresh from the day one of the National Economic Dialogue, Neil Latte is in the house. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello to you out there. Welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News here on 97.3 Citi FM, proudly brought to you by MTN EcoBank. And, well, coming up this morning, GRA moves to bridge revenue gaps amidst economic reset with measures to be announced in budget next week. Also, energy sector players demand innovative ways of stabilizing fuel prices as gold for oil policy is suspended. And later, government sets aside $70 million to support waste management businesses, a move significant to helping local businesses in the country. I am Neil Latte. Many thanks indeed for joining us this Tuesday morning. Details of our stories now. Let's begin. From the fallout of the ongoing national economic dialogue, because the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Sapon, has assured that strategic measures are being implemented to close revenue shortfalls to ensure government economic targets are met. In an interview with City Business News on the sidelines of day one of the National Economic Dialogue, Anthony Sapon emphasized the need for a balanced approach that strengthens domestic revenue mobilization while minimizing the impact on businesses and economic growth. There is more in the following report. With the U.S. cutting aid to Ghana, the present question is how the country will bridge the revenue gap. The Ghana Revenue Authority says it is ramping up efforts to boost domestic revenue while ensuring businesses aren't overburdened. Commissioner General Anthony Sapon insists the strategy will strike a balance between enforcement and economic growth.
I believe that we are at a point where, in terms of policy, there's a lot of policies and tax regulations that are in our books. What we need first is to deepen that, and that deepening means bringing a lot more people who are outside the net into the tax net, and also those who are in it, which we haven't reached our full potential, bring them onto it. One sure way, as far as I'm concerned, together with my management, is the use of technology. We are at a point where if we embrace technology and write technology as tax administrators, we should be at par or even ahead of the taxpayer.
But beyond revenue measures, stakeholders at the National Economic Dialogue are demanding more than just policy proposals. They want real action. Speaking on the sidelines of the event, the chairman of the McDan Group of Companies, Dr. Daniel Macaulay, underscored the urgency for policies that drive meaningful economic progress.
One thing I'm very happy about is the president said the political will is there. and it's early days yet. He has promised the private sector that he is going to support the private sector to thrive. With these policies, that tax policy, bank policy, almost every policy that we have to relook at must be relooked at.
For his part, the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obin, stressed that any adopted recommendations must translate into tangible relief for businesses and entrepreneurs.
We want the tax system to be rationalized, as we've always been saying. The cost of doing businesses have to be attractive. The environment have to be attractive for businesses so that it can even induce foreign direct investment participation in our country.
Meanwhile, the director of the Institute for Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, Professor Peter Korte, provided key economic insights emphasizing the need for practical long-term solutions to Ghana's financial challenges.
The President gave us the assurance, the Minister of Finance gave us the assurance that this is not going to lie on the shelf. And that is why all of us have to get on board to ensure that everything we discuss here, all the key takeaways, will be implemented. Of course, you will not find all of them in the budget because it's a process. So you will not find all of them in the budget that is going to be read on the 11th of March. However, within the medium-term framework, some of these conclusions should filter into the policies that we are going to implement.
Director of the Institute for Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Korte, ended my report there. Now, the two-day National Economic Dialogue has entered its final day with the discussions focused on sustainable macroeconomic stability, economic transformation and infrastructure development. Other key areas of deliberation include structural reforms, private sector-led growth, governance improvement and anti-corruption efforts. As the forum concludes today, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman is expected to deliver a keynote address outlining the government's vision for economic revitalization. The outcomes of the dialogue are anticipated to shape policies aimed at creating better business opportunities and improving living standards nationwide. Now, away from that, and players within the energy sector are impressing on the government to find innovative ways of stabilizing the prices of petroleum products following the suspension of the gold for oil policy. Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana has commended the government for its decision to suspend the policy, pointing out that the initiative, which was introduced by the previous administration to reduce domestic cost of fuel, failed to meet expectations. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, recently announced that the government has suspended the program due to policy and operational charges that have resulted in financial losses for the country. Reacting to the move and speaking to Citi Business News, Duncan Amwa said the suspension of the policy was a step in the right direction.
If you don't fix these things, gold for oil, gold coin, gold exchange, we will go through all the gold things we want. We will come back to the same squares. So it's good to hear gold for oil is suspended. We will be happy that they look for a more innovative way to make fuel prices sustainable for Ghanaians than the route of 100% importation and, we don't want to pay with the dollar, so we're paying with gold. Whatever it is, you are importing everything. Whatever it is, you are a price taker on the global market. So if you are taking price at 600, the pumps will reflect 600. When it goes to 800, the pumps will reflect. Your gold exchange program will not save the consumer.
Duncan Amwa is Executive Secretary of COPEC. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, has signaled that the upcoming 2025 budget presentation will introduce measures aimed at tackling food inflation, a key driver of overall inflation. With rising food prices exerting pressure on household spending and business costs, the central bank sees targeted fiscal interventions as crucial to stabilizing prices and maintaining macroeconomic stability. He's been speaking in an interview with Bloomberg.
The last reading came in a little bit, higher. But we think that going forward, if you look at the causes, of the pressures, the inflationary pressures, it was mainly from, food inflation. It was mainly structural in nature. And so therefore, the coming budget statement, which is about to be presented, should be presenting a number of measures that can contain food inflation. If that is done, we are sure that we will see a return to the disinflation path. We plan to hold the next monetary policy meeting next month, where we will reassess the conditions and take an appropriate decision. And therefore, once we have the appropriate monetary policy stance in place, and then also food price inflation is well controlled, we will begin to see inflation trending back to its target path.
Dr. Johnson Esiama is Governor, Bank of Ghana. Now, the government is set to provide $70 million in grants to 8 plastic waste recycling companies in the company to help them grow their businesses. The Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology says these companies, including Universal Plastic Products and Recycling Ghana Limited under the Josbon Group of companies, are expected to use the funds to improve their ability to collect, recycle and reuse plastic waste. During a recent tour of some recycling companies in Accra to assess their readiness for the funding, Sector Minister Murtala Mohammed called for increased support for businesses in the circular economy.
One thing that is also of concern to me is that we are able to process just 10% of the plastic waste we generate in this country. So the question is, the other 90%, what happens? So we are looking forward to expanding this particular assistance and grants to a lot of entities who are engaged and having the expertise to manage the plastics that we have. Because if you can only recycle 10% and then the 90%, what happens? They all contribute to the environmental degradations and the hazards that we have. So I'm impressed, and I think that we'll take the final decision after we have finished with this tour.
Murtala Mohammed is the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. Now, Stratcon Energy and Trading Limited has appointed Arnold Hamiabe as the new head of operations. The strategic leadership move aligns with the company's commitment to enhancing its operational capabilities and expanding its offerings within Ghana and across West Africa, and comes at a time where the demand for oil and gas and energy at large are expected to increase. The new head of operations at the company will succeed Emmanuel Odey, who will continue to support Stratcon as a special advisor. On the forex markets this morning, the dollar is trading at 15 cedis 80 pesos, the British pound at 19 cedis 45 pesos. That of the euro could be sold to you at 16 cedis 50 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Ecobank and Gwell. You can visit our website citynewsroom.com/business for more on our top stories. I am Ni Latte. Do you have a good business day?
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees. Mommy chop money. Cratchy. Mommy my rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town. More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got. Dial *770# for money emergencies and chop life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more, dial *770#. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
12:57 kickoff coming your way shortly. Proudly brought to you by Shell and Zonda Ghana Limited. Shell says if you're planning your date night or you want to make the kids happy with the little things like toys and ice creams, they make all the difference in creating lasting memories. And good times start at Shell, where you can fill up on more than just fuel. Fill up on love, laughter, sumptuous bites and treats from our partners, our partner vendors. Whether you're looking for juicy chicken filling burger snacks, a space to just unwind, trust me, you will find it all at Shell. While you're enjoying yourself with your family and friends, your car can also get the love it deserves at Shell service station and wash bay. That's one roof for everything. Visit Shell today. Shell go well. And Zonda Ghana Limited says they are your one-stop shop for heavy machines and vehicles. From Shantui bulldozers, payloaders, power pickups, whatever you're looking for, Zonda Ghana Limited is the name. Zonda is building Ghana, built in Ghana, building Ghana. And the man, Gabi Affair, is here, ready with kickoff.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Gabi Affair, good morning, man.
Good morning, Caleb. Tuesday morning. Welcome aboard to Kickoff on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Gabi Affair, coming up in the next 10 minutes. Alright, and so Champions League football is back on your screens tonight. The round of 16 stage is here with some really good fixtures tonight. Plus, get to hear from the technical advisor of Ghana's Black Stars on making sure the Black Stars do qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. All of that plus some other sport right here on 97.3. We are on the wings of Zonda GH and shall go well. All right, so let's start off with some athletics, and the president of Ghana Athletics, his name is Bawa Fuseni. He has revealed that Infancy Pim's rising sprinter, Joseph Kofi Ando, has caught the attention of the national body. Now, Bawa Fuseni expressed his desire to include Ando in the national athletics team for the upcoming African Championships and the relay squad. Now, his comment follow Ando's standout performances at the 2025 Inter-Schools Colleges and Athletics competition held in Kumasi and Cape Coast, where he excelled in the 100 meter, the 200 meters, the 4x100 meters, and the 4x200 meter events.
Joseph Ando is just picking up, just like Azamati, because his time that he's retaining in Cape Coast is phenomenal. It was just a similar time that Azamati did when he was in Eugene. So we are keenly and we are very much interested in his development and his career development. We are going to get in touch with the school to find out what the school will do, because we would like to take him as part of our national team for the African Championship next year. We would like him to be part of the relay team next year. For us to do that, we need to collaborate so that when we finally get hold of him, we can support him. But his education is also very important.
Right, Bawa Fuseni, president of the Ghana Athletics, also shared insight into the factors contributing to the consistent dominance of certain schools in the inter-schools and colleges athletics competitions.
Tia Amal dominated some 5-6 years ago, and now the Primary College is coming. We used to know Okez, Opoku Ware, KTI in Accra, to MS Electronic in Cape Coast. It came to a time that Western girls were also dominating. Basically, the school sports will strive well if the headmaster of that particular school is interested. That's it. If the headmaster is not interested in the sports in the school, no matter how good student you have in athletics, no matter how good your PE teacher is, they can't do anything. So whenever you see a school doing very well, it starts from the interest of the headmaster.
Bawa Fuseni is the president of the Ghana Athletics, speaking to City Sports there. Well, let's stay with some athletics, and following that electrifying atmosphere at the Barbara Sports Stadium in Cape Coast during the 2025 Inter-Schools and Colleges Athletics Championship. Well, the stage is set for another electrifying 2 days athletics and it's been tagged the Clash of Titans Athletics competition, scheduled for 24th and 25th of April 2025. That will be held at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. The competition will feature a thrilling lineup of schools, with Ashanti represented by Prempeh College, Opokuwari, T.I. Amas, and Okes, while Central brings its own Titans in Infantipim, Adisadel College, St. Augustine's, and Agri Memorial. So we'll keep you posted with regards to that. Well, to the Black Stars, and Winfred Schaefer is the technical advisor. He believes that Ghana can qualify to compete in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The World Cup is scheduled to take place in the USA, Canada, and Mexico, and is the first FIFA World Cup to have 48 nations competing. Now, his comments ahead of Ghana's upcoming games against Chad and Madagascar on March 21 and March 25, and he says Ghana must qualify for the 2026 World Cup.
I hope for the first team. What we want is everybody has to bring in his head, we have to go to the World Cup 26. That is, when we work all together. I know you're not very happy when the team go out in the Cup of Nations qualification, but please give us a chance. I want to talk to the players, I want help the staff, I want help the coach, and we come back, believe me. But for this, we have to work very hard. And again, when I can work, I can play for Ghana, then I have to be happy.
Winfred Schaefer is the technical advisor of Ghana's Black Stars. Staying with the Black Stars, and the president of the GFA, Keto Kreku, yesterday led the Black Stars' technical team to pay a courtesy call on the Minister for Sport and Recreation, Kofi Adams, at his office. The visit was to formally introduce the newly assembled tech team and seek the minister's support ahead of Ghana's crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Chad and Madagascar. The Black Stars will take on Chad on March 21 at the Accra Sports Stadium and then fly to Morocco for that clash against Madagascar on March 24. And we have live radio commentary on 97.3 Citi FM. Staying with the Black Stars, a former coach, Kwesi Appiah, believes Ghana has the potential to qualify for the tournament, provided the ongoing issues surrounding the team's captaincy are addressed effectively.
I'm really happy that our position at the moment is not that bad. And then secondly, I'm hoping that what I've heard is true, that they're trying to sort out the captaincy issue. And then secondly, if there are other issues, which I don't know, I actually didn't want to go into Black Stars issue because I'm not in Ghana, I'm not secondly with the team. So anything that you say would be like speculations that you're trying to go back. But if I think these two, they're able to sort it because the players that we have are all quality players.
All right, so that's former Black Stars coach James Kwesi Appiah. These days, he coaches the Sudanese national team, and just sharing his thoughts on the Black Stars ahead of the two games against Chad and Madagascar coming up in the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Well, let's take you to Europe, and the round of 16 matches kicking off tonight in the UEFA Champions League. We have 4 games coming up today. We'll start off a bit early in Belgium. It's Club Brugge taking on Aston Villa at 5:45 p.m. We hear from Aston Villa's head coach, Unai Emery. He was asked if his side can go all the way to win the Champions League this season.
I am not thinking in it. I am focusing each match, each moment, and to win is the consequences. It's not the end, it's the consequences, and it's the process. And always I am building the process in my past and now, and I like to focus the process. If you are thinking you are losing the way, and maybe you are not getting there, it's better to get here.
Unai Emery is head coach for Aston Villa. Some more games kicking off at 8 p.m. Borussia Dortmund will take on Lille. PSV up against Arsenal. The Gunners have been knocked out of the Carabao Cup and lost their only available striker to a season-ending injury. And now the Premier League seems out of reach due to Liverpool's 30-point buffer. Here is Mikel Arteta on tonight's test.
Well, certainly focusing on what we've done in this competition and why we've done it. And that's the biggest reassurance, because this doesn't happen at that level of consistency for that many months. for a random reason. It's because we have it on us, you know. And there are certain things we're going to have to adapt. That's obviously unquestionable, but we can still be very efficient and a top team.
All right, so that's Arsenal's manager Mikel Arteta speaking. Right there. On the part of PSV, we hear from Ivan Perisic on facing the Gunners.
I know exactly the feeling, and but football is it's like in life. You have to quickly forget the things and to be focused on the next what is coming tomorrow. And tomorrow is a really big game, big opponent, and we have to be on our maximum if we want to beat them and to pass in the next round.
All right, so that's Ivan Perisic. He plays for PSV Eindhoven. They are in action later tonight against Arsenal in the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. Now, the big game tonight is at the Santiago Bernabeu as Real Madrid taking on Atletico Madrid. And we call it the Madrid Derby. He's back again for the third time this season. Atletico will face off with Real, but this time the stakes are different. Here's what Madrid's Carlo Ancelotti had to say on facing Atleti.
Well, we have good memories of the last game we played here at the Bernabeu in the Champions League against Manchester City. That was a special night, and obviously we want to repeat that kind of match. This is a very balanced tie, and it will be decided in the second leg. Our goal for this match is simply to play well and win, but nothing beyond that.
That should be a good game tonight at the Santiago Bernabeu as Real Madrid taking on Atletico Madrid in the UEFA Champions League, kicking off at 8 p.m. Well, let's finish off with some tennis, and Andy Murray will repeat his coaching role with Novak Djokovic at the upcoming Indian Wells tournament and stay with a 24-time major champion for the Miami Open. Djokovic is 37 years old and he plans to compete at both the ATP Masters event played back-to-back and known as the Sunshine Double for the first time since 2019. That's the very latest in the world of sports. For more, you can head to citysportsonline.com, and on X, you can find us at City Sports GHA. Kickoff is proudly brought to you by Zonda GH and Shell. Shell, go well. I am Gabby Ofe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care of yourself and bye-bye.
Where are you headed today? Techiman, Salaga, Aflao, or beyond? At Shell, we believe your true destination isn't just today's journey. It's about where you want your business, your family, and your dreams to be tomorrow. So Shell Rimula is formulated to help you journey better. With anti-wear additives for ultimate protection, Shell Rimula with advanced Protection Plus technology prevents oil thickening and guards against harmful deposits. Whether it's the heat of the highway or the chill of the morning, Shell Rimula keeps your engine running smoothly and efficiently. Shell Rimula oils help your engine start effortlessly in any weather, because when your truck starts, your journey starts. Lower fuel costs, longer engine life, and smoother operations mean your business travels further and your dreams reach higher. Shell Rimula, the engine oil that works as hard as you. Drive forward. Reach your real destination with Shell Rimula.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
What's your dream this year? To pull up in a brand new 4-wheel ride? Or you want to travel? Where? Sentosa Island in Singapore? Or Desert Safari in Dubai?
Come to Dubai.
Or you want a laptop, microwave, brand new phone, TV? Chale, what you want, you can get with SG Ghana. Minya Ubecha 7Y. Join the SG Ghana Deposit and Drive promo and you could win the grand prize of a brand new Toyota RAV4. Simply deposit 500 Ghana cedis or multiples of it into your SG Ghana account from now till 30th May 2025. Non-customers can open an account to participate. Visit your nearest branch or call 0302-214-314 for further inquiries. This promo is regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
He's here, uncle.
Oi, you man, look at you, all grown up, innit? So good to see you, fam. I miss you so much. So good to be back home, bruv, innit? I can see a lot has changed, mate. Home sweet home, innit?
Sit down and let me serve you something delicious.
The food is looking good, fam.
Of course, some things never change. Just like how Gino tomato mix still gives my food that rich color and unique natural taste every time.
Hey, sister. Papupun sanwan kasa. Just like I remember. Inquire. Jollof ne die. Jaika. Eye danka sankasa.
Hey, ente aduane na ma wo kasa na sisa sisi.
Say Gino die. Efie ni fie.
This advert is FDA approved. Did you know that worms take away nutrients from the food you eat? Just listen to them.
Brothers, yesterday the food nice, huh?
Oh yeah. The choba woman there, she did try wa.
Charlie, something come on. It be food.
It did taste like banana.
Make a taste some. Make me try a taste. Make a taste. Hey, something is doing me.
Something is doing me too.
Oh, it be Vermox.
Vermox banana-flavored dewormer is available in both suspension and tablet and is suitable for children and adults. It's good for you, bad for worms. Not recommended for children under 2 years and pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Where do your hopes and dreams take flight? The money you've earned, the future shining bright. At Petra, we're not just here for your retirement plan. We are here for the life you've imagined and then some. From your child's education to your dream home's door, we'll help you achieve what you're striving for. Petra is here, steady and strong. Your wealth in safe hands, where it belongs. With investments that grow at rates that compete, we build your future with every heartbeat. That's Petra, your partner. Come joy or strife, guiding you toward the dreams that define your life. For your pensions, investments, loans, and more, visit our website at petraonline.com or call 0242 435037. Petra, achieve more.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
7:36 City Breakfast Show. It's Tuesday. It's the 4th day of March 2025. And we're still in the birthday groove with a few requests coming through on the show today.
Yeah, man. Good morning, CBS. Happy, glorious birthday to the budget manager of VRA, Mrs. Doris Ama Okanse Arthur. God continue to bless everything that you touch and age gracefully. This is coming from Kweku Anane on behalf of all your children. And this one says, good morning, City. Please wish my husband, Mr. Horace Hatto, a happy birthday from his lovely wife, Mrs. Monica Hatto, and his lovely daughter, Valerie Aseye Hatto. We wish him long life and good health. May God Almighty continue to show him favor. Thank you, you are.
All right. There are a few more here that have been sent by some listeners.
That's right. This one says, happy birthday to you, Gloria Nana Abba Ansa, nursing officer at Obom Health Center. May the Lord's favor continue to abound in your life and answer all your hidden prayers. Amen. This is coming from Francis Ejabing. Happy birthday to you, Gloria Nana Abba Ansa. Just did that. Thank you. And it's coming from Francis Ejabing. And Bernard, please wish Dr. Hod Kwadwo Anyigba of ITUC Africa a glorious birthday. Today, we celebrate the incredible person you are and the amazing person you are becoming. You are an incredible brother. We thank God for this far. By grace, He has brought you. You make life so much better just by being in it. Happy 40th birthday, Kojo, from the entire family and your only sister, Ami. To you, Dr. Hord Kwadwo Anyigba.
There's another longish one for me. Happy birthday, my love. Today I celebrate the love of my life, my greatest blessing, and my deepest joy. You are not just my husband, but also a man of wisdom, impact, and selfless love. You have touched countless lives, mentored many, and given yourself to see others succeed. To you, life is about lifting others, and that makes you even more incredible to me. On this special day, myself and the children pray for unending joy, abundant grace, and divine favor upon your life. Today, everybody's talking about favor.
Yeah,
may our love grow deeper with each passing year. I love you endlessly and will always cherish you. Coming from Linda Mante, Mrs. to Paul Kofi Mante.
Oh, Paul Kofi Mante.
And the hashtag is Cambodia for life.
My God. No, he's a big man.
Yesterday, Kofi's team at EDC said they want me to play Favor.
Okay.
Favor.
Surround me like a
they said that's the guy's favorite song. So Kofi Mante. He's a big man. He's a big man. So for Kofi Mante, Favor will surround you like a shield.
Amen. Come on.
And a couple of joined applications for the favor system. Dear Bernard, by order of my MD of Home Affairs, today marks a special occasion by decree. Perpetuana Adole Papo, you've been a pillar of strength and a super cheerleader. As you celebrate this new milestone, may the good Lord continue to shine His light upon you.
Amen.
Wishing you a joyous and blessed birthday, Madam MD. Happy birthday, truly yours, Nana Boaji. To Perpetuana Adole Papo.
Lovely. Happy birthday to Reverend Mrs. Naomi Ahenkra of Action Chapel. May this new chapter bring you fulfillment. And this is coming from your husband, your children, and the entire family. We love you so much. That is the message. Enjoy your day.
And so we jump on and on into the segments ahead of us. But in Emirates economy, you can enjoy endless entertainment on board, up to 6,500 channels to choose from. Sit back, relax, and watch the latest Hollywood and Bollywood or Nollywood blockbusters, comedy box sets, or even live sport. You can stay connected with onboard Wi-Fi so you can chat with friends and family and share holiday selfies from 40,000 feet above sea level. Enjoy more convenience and flexibility to over 140 destinations with Emirates Global Network. Find out more at emirates.com. And of course, Volkswagen has a new brand or model in town. It's the Touareg. But there's also the new Terramont, which will carry all your special moments in its renowned 7-seater with 3.5 liters and V6 engine, maximum power of 250 horsepower. You will be moved from home and to work quicker than expected. Starting from 712,000 cedis, call 025 79 56 688. That's 025 795 6688. We also have the Virtus, the Tijuan, the Allspace, the Terramont, the Amarok pickup. And if you're renewing your motor insurance policy with SG Ghana, it's not just about getting reliable cover for you and your vehicle, but there are also some great benefits. From now to end of May, buy or renew your comprehensive motor insurance policy with SG Ghana. It's called the Sound Drive and win big. You stand a chance of winning a 2-night all-expense paid stay for 2 at the luxurious luxurious Safari Valley. Forgive me, luxurious Safari Valley Resort. Now, you can also win 4 brand new tires or free car servicing for a whole year. You also get up to 500 cedis free fuel instantly for just renewing or buying your comprehensive motor insurance from SG Ghana. So call 0302 214 314 for more information or walk into any of the SG branches you know. Promo is regulated by NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. It's the SG Ghana Sound Drive and are written by Salam Alliance General.
Now, if you're ready to drive innovation and take the next step in your career, apply for Ashesi's master's programs, which combine world-class education with African relevance, regardless of your career aspirations. An Ashesi master's program equips you with the skills, ethics, and network to lead boldly. Applications are open for 2025 cohorts. Learn more at ashesi.edu. And if you're looking for litigation-free land, please, it is very available. But if you contact Royal Kingdom Estate, you are very, very assured of that. They do more than just that. Land acquisition, construction, design, property management, so much more. They have properties in Accra and Ebri. Land starts at 90,000 Ghana cedis. Payment terms are flexible. And they have affordable homes ranging from 2 bedrooms and premium furnished apartments for short rentals in East Airport. Visit Cantonments 055 755 5090272 778880. Info at Royal Kingdom Estate. Royal Kingdom Estate, building communities, nurturing dreams. Now, let's talk about the next time you fly from Accra. So why don't you fly better with Emirates? You know, in Emirates economy, you can get a taste of your destination on board with complimentary regionally inspired meals, and as you savor each course of delicious gourmet cuisines at 40,000 feet, you can toast to new adventures with complimentary beverages. It's the perfect way to start your holiday, and of course, you can expect world-class service along every step of your journey. You get so much more in Emirates economy. Enjoy more convenience and flexibility to over 140 destinations within Emirates Global Network. Find out more at emirates.com.
Do you know what kokromoti means?
Kokromoti thumb.
I thought kokromoti meant a knot.
Oh, kokromoti a yempa hon sample. Yempa, yes. So you can't tie a knot without a kokromoti. That's what you are trying to say. But the kokromoti is the thumb.
So what is a knot in tree?
Not yapo. So nyansampo was sanin or badrim bem. That's the KNUST motto.
Oh, so
yes,
okay.
The knot is
untied. They used to say a song is kokromoti.
Yempa yen sandwich mopo. You can't do without him.
You cannot tie a knot without a
this
thumb.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so now I get it. I always thought kokromoti was the knot itself. Oh, that's why I say kokromoti power.
Thank you.
Voting.
Thank you.
So kokromoti, yes. So if you want to form a knot,
yes,
you cannot go beyond the thumb.
Thank you.
So God is that kokromoti.
Nanyang.
So you can't do anything without him.
You.
Oh.
I
get it now. Kokromoti. Anyway, so what a week it's been. I mean, all kinds of things happening.
I have yesterday my day was spent doing a lot of things, but I kept an eye on where you were.
Just one eye.
Yeah, I kept an eye because I had to keep my other eye on other things. But you had a busy day.
I'll tell you.
And a lot of very important people in this country
from here to there.
A busy day. So the National Economic Dialogue started yesterday. You were there.
Yeah.
Who showed up? What happened yesterday?
Everybody was there.
What do you mean everybody? Not everybody was there.
Well, the program is in two parts. So there was the whole, in Ghana we like ceremony. So the ceremony part there, everybody, CEOs of companies, of government agencies, almost every minister was there. CJ was there. Most of the traditional authorities in Accra were there. Who else? Chiefs of security agencies were there. Yeah, it was a good event.
What's the vibe?
Well, as I always say, you need to separate the speeches from the real conference. So the speeches basically...
The speeches were speeches?
Yes, just set the tone. So if you listen to the speeches, you think, to be fair, the Minister of Finance gave a really detailed presentation. And I think Dr. Kewa Amak also gave a very, very good speech, which was rather long, but it was very good. But I think the majority of the work happened in the so-called 6 breakout thematic rooms.
Okay.
So I think that's what the real
and that's what I was going to. So break it down for us.
So
give us a taste of some of the thematic areas and some of the people who were in those rooms. And this was not public.
No. So they didn't do it public, but they are continuing today, and they will come and share their findings or their recommendations this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
And they are going to discuss those recommendations with the ministers from the various sectors. So that's the way this has been planned. So there'll be speeches at the plenary, then they will go into serious discussion on some key issues. And then if they come to some conclusion about what to do, they will come and propose it to the ministers, and they'll have some discussion about it. And then we'll see where we go. So they broke down the economy into 6 thematic areas.
Yes. So
restoring macroeconomic stability. I don't like that word. It's always very big.
Okay.
And then growth with depth.
Which one of the 6 fascinated you yesterday with the kind of people who were there and their backgrounds and what it looked like they were doing?
Well, I had to sit in all. I managed to because I have to moderate a panel today. So I sat in 5 of the 6. I'll go to the good governance one today. I was in the macro stability one very briefly. The room was full of economists.
Like
everybody, Paul Akwa, Ernest Addison.
Across both sides.
Charlie, I mean, if the number of macroeconomists in that room, there was even Sowa. Sowa is like one of the most respected economists in Ghana. He's taught everybody. In fact, most of the people in the Ministry of Finance, most of my lectures were taught by Nico Akusowa. Nico Akusowa was there. Paul Akwa is like the doyen of macroeconomics in Ghana, if you ask me. He was there. And I think Wampatu was there, former governor. Isahaku, Charlie. It's serious. Every governor was there.
I think
there.
I even saw the immediate past former governor.
Everybody.
Addison was there?
Yeah, Dr. Addison was there.
You know, when it comes to, when the economy calls and when... Okay, this is the thing. This is the first thing I'll say. I think a lot of people underestimate the convening power of President Mahama in getting even non-NDC people to come into such a place. So there were a lot of people who you not consider necessarily political people who were there.
But perhaps also the attendance reflects what these people know about the current state of the economy.
Look,
otherwise they would not have shown up.
Let me tell you, most of our elite don't really care who's in power.
They just want to make money.
No, not necessarily. I don't think it's fair to they want to make money. I think a lot of these people deeply want the country to do well. That's what I mean. When you listen to the kind of things they said and the experience they have, clearly they want the country to do well. Just that there are different approaches to getting the country to do well. So in the macroeconomy, there are a lot of solid people. There's another group called structural or policy reforms. So that's an interesting one where they were trying to talk about the power sector, the cocoa sector. It was a very interesting room. So you have people like KK Sapong is the chair.
Okay.
You had Togbe Afede was there. You had almost all the CEOs of VRA, ECG. A lot of time spent on ECG and what Kwame Pionim was in that.
ECG is a problem, eh?
The whole power sector is a problem. To be honest, ECG is almost like the fall guy. And
for the problems.
And to be fair, if you look at the 2024 audit on ECG, it's not a pretty sight. But if you want to reduce the power sector problems to ECG alone, it's not right. I think the tariff system needs to be looked at quite carefully.
Okay.
And there are legacy problems there. There are some power plant issues as well. The distribution problem, like it's a lot. Everybody was in that room as well, and they were having a lot of interesting discussions. I also enjoyed the infrastructure session. So there's a big discussion around infrastructure, roads, bridges, ports. And there was
who are the people there?
So the Felix Addo.
Okay.
I simplify my life. Felix Addo is like your doyen in accounting. He's like the former PricewaterhouseCoopers country partner. He's done everything. Like this Thursday, I went to launch a book written by people on companies and insolvency, and he basically led the effort to rewrite our insolvency laws. All right. Wow. So he's an authority there. He and David Ofosu-Dorte were sort of co-managing the infrastructure project. Then there was also private sector-led growth with the head of Cosmos and the head of Standard Chartered Bank discussing private sector things, right? So lots of private sector, AGI, PEF, a lot of CEOs were in that session.
Okay.
What needs to be, and to her credit, the minister of what's the name of this ministry? Trade. She sat through that session, so it was quite good. So Ecospio Gabra, Charlie people, and then when they asked you answer, and I thought it was good.
Everybody could get up and talk.
So this is what they did. These 6 sessions were for people who had been invited, either as business leaders, civil society people, or academics in the area, or just ordinary citizens who have something to say. So they were all asked to come and discuss some key issues, and the chairperson set the key issues, and then they opened the floor for discussion. So, for example, when it came to the structural reform, they're talking about like ECG and what to do to save it. I'm not sure I'm supposed to say all these things on air because they are supposed to be like Chatham House rules. But my point is that
we want to know.
Yeah, I'm telling, but you will know after today, because today they will do it live on TV. So they're going to, all these 6 groups will come and present concrete proposals on what. So, for example, they will say ECG. If you want to save ECG,
what do we do?
Have a tariff structure that does this, that, or the other, or they will say whatever. And if they say the Minister of Energy will be there and they'll discuss, is it possible, is it workable? Then a lot of this is also going to the budget. So this is also a pre-budget thing. So it's like you are getting the best ideas to come and help frame the first budget of the government.
Okay.
All right. So they also did a session on good governance and corruption.
Who was there?
Franklin Kujo and then Dr. Akwete. A lot of people from civil society were there.
Ah, Frankie.
Yeah. So for me, it was a very, very... And there's also another interesting one, growth with depth.
Growth with depth.
So basically, you can't... So this let me summarize the thing. If you want to transform an economy, you have to diversify, all right? you need to focus on energy. You need to be more productive. You need to develop human capital. You know, what we need is structural transformation. You can't be selling raw materials and expect to be developed. You need power. So you need, for example, many more megawatts of power to be cheaper. To industrialize, for example, if I want to produce the materials that is used to do your shirt or your shirt, I need to be able to produce it cheaper than the Chinese or the Bangladeshi or the Pakistanis can do that. That means I need good roads. So if I produce cotton, I need to be able to have a cotton ginnery that can bring the material in. And I need to have a power that can help me produce it to make the thing cheap. I need human resource development. So these are the issues. Economic transformation needs power, it needs finance, it needs infrastructure. And those are the things that they were discussing.
Interestingly, Bernard, in 2014, I was listening to the show and you referenced a report put together by the African Center for Economic Transformation. I was on campus at the time.
Oh, really?
And they had put together a report named Growth with Depth.
It's the same thing.
So I actually went to the office to get a hard copy of the
They've
book.
been singing that song for 10 years.
Yeah.
So let me explain. So, you know, if you want to diversify, and there's no country that can move from agrarian to properly develop without industrializing. And to industrialize, you need power. And our power is, so let me give you an example. The cost per kilowatt hour of power, for power to be used in production, it must be available, affordable, and accessible. Now, globally, since history, the cost of power must be at most 5 cents per kilowatt hour. That's the maximum if it can be used to produce products that can be competitive.
Right.
Guess how much it costs to produce power in Ghana? Some of it is almost 11 cents. Sometimes it's 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So our power is too expensive to produce because of the mix. And there are many reasons for this. Sometimes because we're in trouble, we go to Portugal and set as a power plant and they charge us political risk premiums. Sometimes we do bad negotiations. Sometimes the cost of conveying the fuel to power the plant doesn't make sense. Do you get it? If you can't produce cheap power, you cannot industrialize. And if you can't industrialize, you are not developed. Because if you can't grow what you eat, if you can't produce what you wear, if you can't produce what you need to cover your head with, you are still at the mercy of the rest of the world. You get it? So these are the things they were discussing. And they said today they will come and present proposals to the ministers, and the ministers will come and respond. So it was a good program. I think it was a very good program. The last thing I'll say, you know, I've moderated a lot of programs. Getting to the end of the previous term, people were a bit tired. So when you do like a program, it's like
frustration.
Were they tired or they were exasperated?
Probably that's a better word. So I'm saying that this government has a bounce. People like this government. They are new. They are fresh. So everybody wants to come. Everybody wants to show that they are in support. So everybody came, right? People who were not invited came. They wanted to be given a chance to talk. So there's a bit of a spring in the step. Bankers, finance people, like everybody wants to do something.
Initial
so the president has goodwill, which he has to use well. You know, so I hope like it's not window dressing. So which is why it's good for his ministers to come and sit down and actually listen. You know, one of the things that have worried us is that politicians assume that because they are in office they know everything. But a lot of people in and of course politicians they have their role. They are combining and solving different problems. But I feel like there are so many people who want to give you the experience for free, who are sharing their views, particularly in the macroeconomic stability room. If I'm the Minister of Finance and the BOG boss, I'll sit down with a pen and just write. Because you may not get all these people in the room at the same time. I mean, if you have Nico Akusoa, Bolakwa, you have everybody. You know, these are heavyweights of macroeconomics. So listen to them for all it's worth. Fine, you have some new ideas. There's new realities in the economy. So it's not everything old that is good. But you need that judgment. So I think it was a really good time. You know, of course, the MPP was not there.
Which is the point I was coming to finally, because you've mentioned all these people.
Yeah.
And the absence of, do you think the absence of the largest opposition party in the country from a dialogue such as this matters?
Oh, of course it matters. Because if they came, it will create a different vibe for the country that for once we've come together to try and solve. Because don't forget
First of all, were they invited? That's also another thing we need to confirm though. Because
I'm not by invitation.
I don't know. I know. I'm just saying. I'm not even speaking to you directly.
I think they probably were. I don't know. But they said they wouldn't come. Whether they invited or they said they wouldn't come. They were clear that they said they wouldn't come. I think I don't know, two of them say that they were not going to take part because they felt like some of the policies the government had initiated in sacking people or whatever. This is my point. The challenge we face is that we don't have long-term vision for anything. What has helped China, where you studied, is that for the past 40 years, they know what they are trying to do.
Yeah.
We are not very clear because apart from when we had Rawlings,
and every 10 years they revisit it.
81 to 91, when we're pretty clear what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I think for me, there are two disadvantages of multi-party democracy, the way we practice it. The first disadvantage is lack of transparency in financing politics.
Okay.
So if you are a Rawlings in 1986 or 87, you don't really need the level of opaque money that a party in power will need to finance its election. So patronage wasn't as strong in those places. Number two, there's more continuity in the way you govern because you know that you have a plan and you know how to pace yourself. But now you have 4 years, you have elections coming. So even right now, by 2026, people in NDC who want to take over from Mahama will start doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You get it? So it will cause internal divisions, and you can't really govern a country where there's always elections.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm not saying it's a bad system. You need to understand the disadvantage of the system, and then you solve for it. So every system has its disadvantages. If you have a long-term 20-year-old guy, he can become senile, and they start sitting by the roadside making phone calls. The whole car will stop for him. You get it? So every system has its disadvantages. Our system, we need to understand the disadvantage, and then you get it. So it's a pity they didn't turn up. It will not stop the NDC and the government from doing what they want to do, but whether in the context of 25 years, right? So by 2050, will we have really gotten there? I feel like it was. Sometimes you need to put politics aside, but you know the way we do our politics in Ghana, Charlie. I don't know. I'm not even ready to go there. So
I am.
Let's do social media trends, and we can go there if you want. It's just exasperating that our politics cannot really find a way to work together. I don't know whether it's.
I have a question for the MPP though.
Maybe when we come back, you can ask it.
Okay.
But I hope I've explained what's going on there.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going well. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
What gets churned out there is usable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And has proper impact.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just. Yeah. We don't want talk shops.
Good point.
We've had too many of those. But
too many.
Anyway, Susu is here, so.
So tech and social media trends is long overdue. Actually,
it's brought to us by First Bank Ghana and Telecel. First Bank Ghana says if you want to send money or receive money to or from Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone, it's very easy. The Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, PAPS, is what we use to help you do that. So go with your money to any of our branches nationwide. Your cash will be sent in no time. If you want to receive money, you will need an account with us, First Bank Ghana account. Visit any of our branches nationwide and you're good to go. 0596 921 921 is the number to call. And then Telecel is also proud to be associated with tech and social media trends. Susuji.
So you are not Susuji.
Oh, I've always been Susuji. That one. It's always been there.
Susuji, what's up?
I'm here.
What's trending?
So, first of all, as always, Heritage Caravan and Heritage Month, knowing that the month we are in and the time we are in. So, the Heritage Caravan stopped at Yendi and they met the Yana. So, that's the big trend from the Heritage Caravan. So, again, go to the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2025. Take a look at the pictures, take it in, and hopefully next year you'll be there if you like the pictures. So, of course, the National Economic Dialogue is also trending. So, there's various pictures and things from the speech. And there's also the fact that the MPP boycotted and did their own press briefing in, what's the word? In concert? Is that the word? Is that? Yeah, they did their own their own State of the Nation address.
In concert because it's not linked to.
Yeah, that's what I was asking whether it's the right word. So, concurrently, maybe. Yes, concurrently. So they did their own. So there's all these photos and people are discussing what was said there and how people feel. So I think people are getting excited about the fact that these things are being discussed and what the future holds for the economy. So that's another one. And Sami Jenfi is trending as his gold board. He did an interview with Asempa where he kind of broke down some of the things he plans to do at the precious minerals marketing company. Thank you. So that interview has sparked some interest, and I think it also helps that the Ankobra River has been dammed in the last few days. So Stop Galamsey is also trending because of that. I don't know if you saw that.
It is. Anyway.
Oh, Godfrey, speak up. Voice out.
There's nothing to voice out. If people go to the ground and come and tell you that the Ankoba River has been dammed somewhere, and 2 days after that, it is still dammed.
It shows we are not serious.
It shows we are not serious.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Somebody goes to find out that the Ankoba has been dammed. 2 days after, we are still discussing the damming of the Ankoba. Not activities aimed at clearing.
And the police
dam.
should be there, someone.
Charlie?
Yeah, so I think those Galamsey discussions are happening, and he's talking about how they will have a government buyback for excavators and some other methods that they think will control Galamsey. So I think it would be good to listen to the interview and listen to his ideas and see how feasible they are, and we can discuss them at a later date. You don't look impressed with
Go on.
And this is something I think is very important. I'm happy the youth are talking about this. Stop Red is the #1 trend in Ghana.
Okay.
So there was a TikTok trend. I'm not on TikTok, but you know these trends always get Twitter. There was a TikTok trend that came on Twitter called Wunim Red, where it showed people who were high on opiates, not
Ghana?
able to stand. Yes. And if you've ever seen people who are high on opiates, they're not able to stand, but their legs kind of are still stable, so they are kind of leaning over their balance. It's almost like, you know, when someone is falling asleep, how their body goes back and forth. Anyway, so the trend was Wunim Red. So because the red is a small red pill of I have to remember the name. Let me just give me.
It's not tramadol.
It's not tramadol. It's another one. You know they have different opiates. I think it's called let me find the name. Sorry. Tapentadol, which is stronger than tramadol.
Oh.
Yes. So this is also linked to the BBC Africa Eye documentary that came out recently and all that kind of stuff. So that's part of it. So Stop Red is trending. So the young people have seen this trend and they are very worried. So they are talking about how opiates are destroying people's lives and that kind of stuff. So people are making an effort to kind of talk about the dangers of these opiates, and then they don't want us to kind of use them anymore. So now in tech news, there's the UK is investigating certain companies for sharing children's data and targeting them with unsafe content for children. So the companies in question are TikTok and Reddit and also Imager. So the issue is that they are using their children's data to market ads to them that are unsafe and inappropriate for children. So the UK is investigating them and would like to make sure that these companies don't show inappropriate content to children using their data. So that's all for tech news.
You're looking for a bank to rely on. Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Wouldn't we say to bank baby, no lie. Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here the date. I'm a busy person, me no many time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed do I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First Bank we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This year,
something magical is happening. A celebration of tradition, flavor, and community. Welcome to the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025.
Taste the heart of your heritage with mouth-watering dishes from across the country like Ademe with akple, Tozafi with ayoyo soup, kokonte, apopranta, rare quine, and many more. From rich spices to sweet treats, it's a journey for your senses. We're taking you back to your village.
Oh yes, let's recreate our age-old recipes.
But it's not just about food, you know. We're celebrating culture, connecting with family, and making memories that last a lifetime.
This March, let's come together and discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 29th and 30th of March 2025. The venue, Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and the time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day.
The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025, where food, fun, and tradition meet. See you there.
Interested vendors should call 0558-973-973 or 0205-973-973 to register. The Back to Your Village Food Festival 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Gino.
You are starting life, you want financial freedom, you know where to go. For your child's education, financial freedom, we got solutions just for you. For your retirement plan, employee wellness and benefits. Old Mutual, your preferred insurer. Old Mutual is the best.
What are you waiting for? Come and join us. Call us on 030-7600. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
Do great things every day. Do great things every day.
From back in the day, when Afro hair was trending and children had to queue to play Kojo's video game, Fun Milk was always irresistible. Today, it's an after-school source of refreshment. For you stuck in traffic and for us looking to cool off under the sun, the invitation is always that sound. So, whatever your choice, Fun Milk quality product keeps you cool and refreshed. Fun Milk triggers so much fun and excitement with just a blast of a horn. Fun Milk, spreading joy to everyone. This advert is FDA approved.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.9.
Sha-la-la-la.
(19:08) on a City Breakfast Show. So, as promised, we'll bring you live coverage in the afternoon of the closing of the National Economic Forum, and that will be, I think, from like 1:30. I'll be there. So when I'll bring more filler.
Yeah, Charlie, but I like the filler you've dropped, and like I was saying, my disappointment really, and I expressed it yesterday, is the absence of the opposition in the room, especially because they seem to have a lot to say. And they decided to use a press conference at the same time as the National Economic Dialogue was going on to say those things. The person who spoke, for instance, is a key voice, and I think some of the alternate informations that he provided is information or arguments that he could have made in any of those sessions, and say that, okay, this end being who he is, 3 months ago you controlled the national purse. You have access to every data that you should have in this country. You understand? You have access to every kind of data. So if you are in any of those sessions, you can choose whichever one you want to be in and say, okay, at first you are saying A, B, C, D here. In front of all the people who matter. This, which is what I was asking you, who was there?
Everybody was there.
So private sector CEOs are there. Public sector CEOs are there. CSOs are there. Then you can say, okay, you are saying you have set 6 pillars. On your 6 pillars, I disagree with this and this and this. Okay, you are saying the power sector will do this. Well, I'm telling you that as at December, we had done this. You are saying we need growth with depth. Okay, I'm suggesting that our plan...
Then it will make it a meaningful national dialogue.
You understand?
You have such a powerful point. Government, this is the thing. I think we haven't matured ourselves in the way we do our politics, because I actually think a lot of this is not necessary. Because we need to distinguish between politics and nation building, where at some point we must say, let's put Ghana first. Let's use the platform of the National Economic Dialogue, which has been created, to make those points.
Yes, you can make those points forcefully.
And they would have been, so for example, if, as he's saying, if the former Minister of Finance or any of the key people in MPP Finance had wanted to make an appearance in the committees on macroeconomy, I'm sure they would have been happy, because the former governor was there. So imagine, for me, there are certain things certain countries do to show they are mature. Let's put all jokes aside. When it comes to certain things, the US, they are very divided over some things. They put America first. That nuance hasn't yet come. Partly because in the public sphere, we always want to posture for the gullible public. I don't think we've gotten to a point where the politicians believe that the public understands and can see through the difference.
But they can now. Most of them can.
You see, I know. You see, it will surprise you. Take the newspapers today. Half of them are talking about what MPP said. Half of them are talking about what NDC said or whatever the government said. All right. This is just the first 2 months of a government. There's a certain place in which you need to say, you know what? Let's understand what this man is trying to do and see if it will work. Do you understand? In Parliament, you can oppose and make sure things are right. But I feel like the public posturing has a certain script. So if we are MPP, we have to show that what NDC is doing is unfair. And I'm not saying everything NDC has done is correct. Like, I don't necessarily agree with all the sackings or whatever. But the point is, you can still look beyond that and say, look, this is a national economic dialogue and a very important platform for which we have very important things to say. But what has happened is that everybody has created their own truth and everybody has created their own channel. So it's easy to speak to different groups of people based on what you want to say to them. And you hope that they will believe you and not believe the other side.
Yeah, but the bigger concern for me, Aloski, even with that is, in the end, for this, know your audience. For the points that you are making there, who do you need to know? You need me to know, but for most of the things, you also need buy-in. Most of the people who have to buy in for it to succeed were in the other room. You said the TUC was there.
Everybody.
Every major CSO in this country was there.
CEOs of main companies were there.
Civil service was there. Public sector was there. Everybody who is listed perhaps on Ghana One Club 100, something.
Yeah, they were there.
All the people who have a major say in what makes an economy move from point A to point B were in the other room.
But they,
So if you
but
have
they didn't
something
do
to
the
say-
press conference to come and provide an alternative to the government.
No.
They were trying to set the record straight as they see it, based on what the government has said.
And that's happening across the 2 days when the national.
So I'm coming. I'm trying to put, the reason why they will not necessarily need these people to hear what they are saying is that they are trying to also speak to their base.
No, but that is what I am questioning at this point. You see, because, and that was the question I wanted to ask. Who actually now? It's a question I must ask the MPP guys. Who runs the party now?
Why are you asking that question?
Because it looks like a party shorn of leadership a bit. I'm sorry.
As in a central person or group of people?
Who to guide it through what is a very tricky phase. You see, because what I have noticed from where I sit is there are a lot of emerging voices and leaders in the party now.
Correct.
A lot of them seem to do what they want. So
you don't see it coordinated.
You don't see a very coordinated voice. So there is a very strong parliamentary voice that is emerging with Afenyo, with Amin, with Opon Kroma,
and then
with Habib,
and then
who are doing Anodompre, who are doing their own thing. Then once in a
mostly
while,
in parliament, and then there's also the Ashanti group of MPs who take up issues like John Darko and
but even
Asifua and Prechum, all within parliament.
In Team Fojo and Co, all those people are doing it under the remit of the parliamentary group.
Yes.
So we see the parliamentary caucus asserting itself and what it feels should be the direction of the party.
Correct.
The party itself, that is
the chairman, the general secretary,
Tim,
and the other structures.
Ahiagba and Nanabi Kodia.
You are not.
They seem lost in this. They have tried. I've heard Nanabi once or twice.
Yeah.
I've heard Justin once or twice. Mr. Ntim, I never hear. Ahiagba annoys everybody.
But isn't parliament part of their leadership? Maybe they are using parliament as their voice, whilst the party
figures itself out. But
because the party hasn't done, the party hasn't actually done the reckoning yet.
No, but it doesn't need to. The party still runs. You see, here's the thing: the party isn't dead.
So they're only, but they're expressing the parliamentary group is the arm of the party that can deal with these matters.
Yes, but
because most of this happen within they have free media, they have access to.
But most of the points being taken will align party policy and direction.
No, okay. Again, I'm pushing. This is
devil's
advocate.
I want to add something small. If I remember correctly, there was a news item that said that the party people said they are happy with what Afenyo Markin is doing, or something like that. I don't know if I can find
as for news items, you can get.
So maybe that's what's their strategy so far, that they want him to do.
No, okay. I think Godfrey's point is that he's not beyond the parliamentary group. He's not seeing party leadership assert itself, and there doesn't seem to be a clear
direction
strategy as to what they are doing. Which from this my
your pushback.
There's not even a pushback.
Your devil's advocacy.
From the way I see it, when a party loses an election in such a manner, there are different phases you go through. So there's a bit of
grief.
Yes, but there's also like less uncertainty in the party as to where they stand. So whether it's the flag bearer, the former president, or the other candidates, what I see is that there's no central uniting force like a voice. For me, the only person I see who you can say when he speaks, he cuts across is the former majority leader. So when you hear him speak on radio, you interviewed him on CNN a few times. I think he's like the only I want a word that will not be taken offensively.
Manly.
Yeah, because of course you don't expect the former president to be talking now,
Right.
and the former vice president as well,
yeah.
whatever. But I think Che Mensah is the only person of the certain gravitas who can call everybody to order. This is how I see it. Now the problem is that they haven't even done the work yet, because there's a work Okoye has been given which they haven't even done. Don't forget when NDC lost the election in 2016. Kwesi Boche was given a task, and that task took him almost 6 months to basically travel around the country, solicit views around what went wrong, and come up with recommendations as to what the parties do internally. Okay. Now that process, when I interviewed NDC people, they said they wouldn't share the content with us, but for them, it was not just to ascertain the truth, but to also heal the party. I don't think MPP has even done that. So, and what is even troubling is that whilst the Okoye people haven't finished their work, some people have put out some report suggesting that this is the reason why the election was lost, and there's already jumping to conclusions about what to be done.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the thing I see with MPP, which is different from NDC. So MPP, because they have come from the point of you cannot restrict us from speaking, because they came from the whole breaking the culture of silence. Everybody in MPP can call a journalist and say, I want to share my views on what happened. It happens in NDC, but NDC, they are more measured like that. So in opposition, you don't get everybody just saying anything, but you go to Kumasi, like some former MP saying something. So like everybody's saying whatever they want to say, and it's very difficult to control that, because you can't sit on anybody's happiness. You get the point. So if I'm the chieftain of NPP in the Northeast, I can call my media guy and say, let me do a press conference, and I'll say, me too, I think this. Do you get it? Now, in NDC, what they did was that they sort of used the Kwesi Boche thing to so he tried, and I think Kwesi Boche was very skilled. So he went to listen to things that he probably already knew. Just that. So he will go to different places and they will talk. For example, they said the delegates didn't like the opening of the electoral college. So when the party loses an election, there is the governance reason for losing, and then there's the party reason for losing. The governance reason was Doomsaw, JM, his ministers, they don't like them, 2016, blah, blah, blah. The party reason was that NDC had opened the electoral college to allow more people to vote. So the people who actually man the party's ballot boxes, who work for the party as delegates, they felt like, well, if you're going to open this up, let all the people who voted do the work. So like nobody did the work kind of thing. Do you understand my point? So MPP too, they have to do their work to say, okay, let's go around and ask what went wrong. Was it alienation of party versus government? All those things have to be done. Do you get the point? Now, when those things are done and then the discussions are held, then they'll have some national forum. I mean, this is the way things are supposed to be. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that process has not finished. And yes, some people have already come up with some sort of report which is trying to decide that this is what went wrong. And people are running with it.
Yes.
So I'm using that to answer your point. So you are saying you don't see a coordinated, centralized leadership.
Yeah.
That's happening because the nature of the loss, and mind you, in NDC's case, when they lost, they still had a former president who was eligible to stand. So even though people contested him in 2017 or 2018, he was head and shoulders above them. But in MPP's case, Akufo-Addo cannot run anymore. And because of the poor performance of Dr. Bawumia, there's already a schism around who is even the leader of the party here. Okay. So I think some of that is some of that void is what you're seeing, people like Apenyo Marking and these parliamentary guys trying to fill. So there's no, and of course don't forget group dynamics. They are now storming because a new leadership has been formed in parliament. It will take a while, and all this is not to hold brief. I understand what you're saying, that the mood of the nation now is not for that. People are interested in, okay, look, JM has won the election. What is he going to do? MPP get on with it. But MPP is a political party.
Yes,
and for them,
I clearly understand
they will not just come and say, let's join NDC to do. They will say, why have you sacked people? Why are you saying this? You've not done it. You criticize us for saying that we had too many taxes. So you understand? That's the work of opposition. But I'm saying that you can do that, but still be constructive in a way that can help. I'll give you an example. I listened to the vetting of the Minister of Finance.
Yeah.
One of the MPs asked a very good question. I think it's called Fuku.
Yeah.
He said, look, every year we argue over tax exemptions. These companies say if you don't give them tax exemptions, they will not produce. And you need their production. And they are not able to, you are always struggling. Why don't you give them the tax exemption and convert it into equity? Brilliant question. Okay. This is somebody who's thinking about the country. He's still opposing. But you understand, he's doing it in a constructive way. So I'm just saying, part of the chaos you see, in my view, is because of the nature of the defeat and also the lack of a centralized strong voice. I think this will continue until two things happen. When the leadership of parliament is fully formed and the committees are known, then you will know who's supposed to speak for what. That's number one. Number two, when the party goes to Congress and they elect leadership, if they choose to keep the current group, then that tells you something. If they choose to change the group, that tells you something. And I feel like in opposition, usually the chairman of the party is the leader of the party, right? So whoever becomes chair of the party is what things will center around. But the parliamentary group now is the only thing the MPP is seriously has in terms of being at the forefront of the news. All right, which is why you're seeing a lot of the histrionics and the appointments committee and some of the workouts and all these things. That's the only posture they have. The only thing though is that I don't think they've gauged the mood of the nation well enough to know if they are opposition. By the way, it's 4 years, so I don't think their objective is even to get the mood of the nation to be on their side. I think they are more sending a message to their supporters that we are still here, we will not be pushed over, because I don't seriously think most middle group or the so-called neutrals are buying some of the points they are making now, because you just left power. So I don't think their strategy is to appeal to the neutrals. Their strategy is to just tell their base that we are not going anywhere, and I will rise again.
Which is where I was coming from, in the sense that your loyalists are your loyalists, however disillusioned they may be.
Yeah,
they are the easiest to get back. You have a situation where that middle line people, that middle line belt, are the ones who actually lashed you at the elections.
Yeah.
Irrespective of what you're thinking about why you lost the elections. What is pretty clear is that a significant chunk of that middle belt that you think does not matter are the reason why you are out of government.
They don't think they don't matter. They don't think the time has come to cut them yet. The way political people think is that, and okay, this is how politicians think. They'll say, NDC, let's leave them. They'll start making mistakes. They'll start fighting. They'll start doing corruption.
That is true.
So for them, this is not the time to even appeal to middle class. This is the time to close ranks and say, Charlie, guys, we are still here. We are not gone. People are also angling for position. So a lot of people are coming on air so that in the next 4 years, they will be seen as the prominent opposition people. So it's not really about cutting any middle class. Which is why most of the middle class were at the summit yesterday and didn't even listen to the press conference. You get me? So the strategy now is not to, because they know that the nature of this defeat, it will take a long time for Ghanaians to actually say, okay, MPP, let's do this. So they are not interested in convincing Godfrey to come and vote for them today. They are thinking about, Charlie, now that there's chaos, what can I do to position myself so that when things form, I'll also be relevant? That's what they are doing.
So I have to say something.
And by the way, this is my personal view. This is not something somebody has told me. So I could be wrong.
Just let's analyze this strategy. I think these are people who, they've become poorer. They've lost their savings. I don't think doing things that will make them look at you like you're not serious, and then 1 year to election, you are going to show up.
But do you become poor after 1 month of losing elections?
No. I'm saying that I'm saying they become poorer because of the inflation and other things, debt exchange and that kind of stuff. And you are looking
at the middle class.
Yeah, and you are looking at them and you are thinking that, we don't need to talk to them until 1 year before elections.
Because they hope NDC will do worse. That's the way the politics work. So basically, this is what politicians say. They say governments lose elections, opposition don't win elections. So this election that NDC won is basically MPP that lost it. And they lost it because the way they poorly managed. So MPP is not campaigning yet.
No.
What they are doing, they are not supposed to be campaigning yet.
They are definitely campaigning. It's who they are campaigning to.
Which is shocking.
Which the point you just made brings me. If you go through the press conference yesterday, there isn't a single line. And the Chronicle carried the transcript.
Yes, word for word.
What Dr. Amin said yesterday, where the MPP admits that the company was poorly run.
They never admitted.
Not one. So when in the middle of a national economic forum, which is the point I'm making, where basically the best brains of the country have shown up, not because the president is there, not because they are courting favor, which is why I asked you, what was the profile of the
president? Wasn't even in the sessions. He came for the opening and he left.
Obviously, these are persons who understand that the economy has gone through some kind of trauma.
Exactly.
We need to figure out how to get this back. And most of them would have political leanings. Some for blue, white, and red. Some for red, green, and black.
Yes.
Okay. But bottom line, which is why I reduced it simply. In the end, most of these people just want a stable business environment where they can make money.
Exactly.
That is bottom line for most of these people.
Exactly.
how do we make money? So if at the time that most of those people have figured themselves out and are in a room debating themselves, and off camera, off air, you were talking about how passionate some of the panels were in terms of people
everywhere.
saying, "Hey, listen to me there." This one just says,
yeah.
"Hey, you are not
No, it was a good discussion.
You are not the one who has all the brains in the world.
Healthy.
Keep quiet and let me talk."
Very healthy discussion.
You understand? And having that kind of very passionate conversation about reviving the economy, and then at the same time, you also decide to sit in a room and say, "Well, there's nothing wrong with the economy," and your thinking is that you are talking to your base and telling your base that you are there. I'm sorry. You see the thinking, which is what I'm saying. Where is the leadership? Because leadership will sit back and say,
let me qualify that.
No, I understand you. It's not your thinking. It's basically you playing devil's advocate. I agree.
They are saying that, again, what I hear Amin say is that the economy was bad, but we fixed it before you came. It's not the same as the economy is not bad. So what he said, based on, if you want to summarize what the NPP have said, at least through Amin, is that yes, things were okay. He didn't say things were tough, but basically saying that all the things that you are claiming to say you are going to do, we've laid the foundation for it already.
Okay.
Because the recovery started before we handed over.
Okay.
So
what we are looking for is an admission that what you inherited is not as bad as how you say it is.
That's
what they are looking for.
Yes. So MPP is saying yes, exactly that. Because don't forget, Atu Forson's presentation was that things are bad.
Yes.
And that things are actually worse than we found than you said.
Hold on.
And MPP is saying that things are actually better than you are claiming. So basically, an argument around what base. In fact, if it isn't a big issue on Saturday,
So how bad is it?
The main argument was that NDC said, so this is actually worse than we even thought. And MPP says, no, we actually made it better than you claimed. That's basically the argument. That's basically the argument.
Yesterday,
that's the argument.
Dr. Yamson spoke. I don't think he owes any side an apology.
At all.
He says in this country.
Free his mind, Charlie.
When he was done speaking,
yeah,
did he sound like he was confused about the state of this economy? Who caused what?
He wasn't. He's very clear.
The people who you met there,
yeah,
did they sound confused about it?
No.
These are the same people who they look at the same numbers politicians look at.
Yeah. Clearly,
they make the decisions sometimes they make the decisions with the politicians.
Correct.
If an economy is good and you and I don't know, those people will know.
I'll tell you something. Some of the people will say to me, Bernard, we really suffered. That's what they will say. They say, Bernard, we really suffered. We suffered. And these are business leaders, Charlie, we suffered a lot. And these are not political people. They will say, we really suffered.
So that's what I'm thinking.
As business people, we suffered.
My final point on just the question of the leadership question that the NPP has to answer is, if perhaps the leadership were in place the way I thought it would be, perhaps this pressure would happen, but the strategy might be, go to that thing, go and deal with them. Or if not, he's not going. Okay, we'll listen to what they say and find the time where we have the ears of the country.
Exactly.
And call those people as well and say, look, you went and heard the president and his people.
Right.
Okay, this is what we are also saying now. You understand?
I think I get your point now.
And then you get clarity so you can also share your thoughts, because whether you like it or not, the people who went to the
the people we are trying to reach.
Are the people you are trying to reach.
And I'll tell you something else. I think I get your point now. Almost every TV station was live there. Do you understand? So the attention of the nation is on economic dialogue. So to choose that time to do your press briefing, to also get some media airtime,
basically looks like, you see,
I feel like
the cynical analyst view, you are trying to break audience.
But
that's the cynical analyst view, which is the point I'm making. That so for your regular watcher, he sits back and says, what are they doing?
Exactly.
What is the thinking behind it? You would expect a superior kind of strategy. Again, I ask, who is in charge of that right now? Is it Parliament on behalf of the party?
But which is why I'm saying that if you have not processed a defeat, you are not in a position to respond. So, for example, you have played a football game and you've lost it very bitterly. Everybody's angry, some are hurt, some are accusing people. That's not the best time to try to speak to your fans. What you need to do is to close in and say, look, what actually happened here? Let's talk to ourselves and understand what actually led to this defeat. When we understand it, there are two possibilities. We can either apologize, or we can say, okay, you know what? This is the strategy we are going to use to try and regain some confidence of the public. But because that process is not over, everybody's just firing. You get me? So I feel like that Okwe work, if they allow him to do that work well, which I believe he will, and he dispassionately does it. You see, this is the other thing. Because there are so many, this is the thing about politics. Our politics is interests. So like you and I, if we lose something, we can say, let's find out why we lost it. And then let's use the facts to solve our problems. I think politicians, the only time they are really, really looking for facts has to do with elections and votes and numbers. Apart from that, it's more interest. So even in a government, you see, there's no, and I'm sorry to say this, so it's not like they will not, if they will allow Okwe to do the work, and if they will be willing to listen to the truth of what Okwe will find, then the truth will set them free. But I'm sure there are people who say, oh, Okwe, who is he?
I have a question for you.
So that's why he may not even...
I have a question for you. How long do you think this process should take? How long do you think is an acceptable thing?
Well, the only example I have is 2016 NDC. And and for me, I think we did a lot to try and get NDC to divulge what was in the Citi report. There were redacted versions of the report which were circulating. They never came to admit. But at least, I think it took at least 6 months to a year. Because I remember, it took I think, because they did their Congress, I think 2017 or 2018 or whatever. It took a bit of time between the time they lost the election. Because Citi was supposed to travel around the country or something. They said he was supposed to go. I remember interviewing someone who said he was supposed to go around all the constituencies to solicit for views. So it was, and there were times that our reporter would go, maybe he goes and speaks to people and stuff. So the Okwe work, I think, is a very important work, because you see, when the party loses an election, you need to understand where do you apportion blame. Do you understand? But I feel like that truth is valuable, so that if you are going to rebrand your party, or you're going to be a proper alternative for people to see, you know how to present yourself. But I feel like the interests are going ahead of themselves, and not because this is the thing, because there's a bit of a power vacuum. The interests are trying to push. So somebody's pushing his own agenda. So maybe you can hear something in the news that, oh, maybe Napo was a bad guy or he was a good guy. It may not even be the truth. It may just be because somebody's pushing that interest. Instead of saying, let's objectively listen to the people and try. And by the way, this listening to the people, there are two things. You have to listen to the election result itself. That means go and understand why you lost at the granular level, but also speak to your people. Do you understand? Because your people at the base will also tell you what happened where you can't see. But if you look at election numbers, you can clearly tell that.
It speaks to you.
So I feel like there has to be some central force in NPP to say, no, guys, let's allow the process to work, so that the party for posterity will be stronger. But I feel like people who want to run for 2028 are possibly machinating, or people who want. So so how can you have Okwe's committee hasn't finished work, and already in the media there are different reports. They say they did some Ashanti region work and they found something like how do you, within 2 months of losing an election, you have all these facts? How did you gather them? Who did you talk to?
I want to say something. I don't think speaking to their supporters is the way to go. The reason I say this is that this anecdotal, the NPP supporters I have spoken to, they don't think, you see, like you said, governments lose elections. They don't think their government did a bad job.
You mean that hardcore NPP people?
I think a lot of them don't think their government did a bad job.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. Because the ones, that's why I say it's anecdotal. Me, the ones I've spoken to, they sound like it's more like Ghanaians don't know what they want.
Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, this is what is, and that's why I said it's anecdotal. Me, I'm saying that's
true. There's also that.
That's what I'm saying. That me.
Well, we have to layer the various supporters.
That's why I said it's anecdotal. I'm not coming to say that all of them,
So
but the
some
ones
of them
out
think
that is Ghanaians don't know what they want. That's been 8 years. So Ghanaians just after 8 years they want to change. That is just is in Ghanaians' nature that 8 years we have to change.
Problematic.
And that's my point.
That.
And that's my point. That's why I'm coming to that. This reports they are doing, they need to get a Musa Dankwa type person who does polling, that kind of research, and talks to people like generally.
I get you.
And aggregate it to talk to NDC supporters, how they felt, MPP supporters.
To make it more useful.
Because if you say you are going to talk to your party people, and they are talking about how we lost because the MC and the MP were fighting.
No, which is why I said you separate it. The governance issues and then the party issues. So there are always party issues where you speak to people who, for example, go to Ayasu West Wogon. Maybe they had 3 polling agents in electoral area. 2 didn't show up on the day. because maybe somebody took his kinky and didn't give him something. So these are granular things you need to work on. In addition to motivation issues, in addition to then the negative publicity of your government scandals and how it affects you.
Also need
so you need to layer the report.
That's why they actually also need to talk
to be on 100%,
the other side.
100%.
I feel like this sounds like they are doing a party audit. They are talking to their. I don't think they'll get the full picture. That's way it sounds.
We can actually check on the remit of the Okwe committee, but I'll be surprised if Okwe only limits it to talking to party supporters, because usually you talk to your supporters to. That's what I'm saying. You see, the process of doing that is twofold. We are not just trying to get information, we're also trying to heal. So we are telling them that, look, we gave you a voice. We were never spoken to. I'm the constituency, I'm the polling station executive for maybe or Fanco somewhere. Nobody has ever come to me. But now that we've lost, you've come to me. He feels good. He speaks. Do you understand? So the process is in itself supposed to heal. That's how Kwesi did it. Okay, but so if they are supposed to do it well, you are supposed to give all those people a voice, because they want to say, you lose your mother. Time I more power, your friend, my move from the phone. Do you get it? And then they say, we are sorry. No. Then they start.
But you see, the reason I'm saying that is that died in the war, MPP supporters. There's also the very emotional reaction to some of these things that when they see NDC, they don't want to hear. So it's like, Ghanaians, they brought this Mama man back again. We sacked him for a reason.
No, but there are some MPP supporters who voted for NDC.
That one is true.
So you need to even ask them, why did you vote for NDC?
But would they say it if they're from?
But if you do Musa Dankwa, some of the
no, but I'm saying if you come and Okwe is in front of you, you are with all your party people and you are there. I think it's a very difficult place to say that I didn't vote for our party in that situation.
If you read Musa Dankwa's report, there are some MPP people who admitted voting for NDC.
No, but Ben, they are talking to Musa Dankwa. I'm saying that if they are in a party forum, it's a very different forum to come in. Because it's like if you are a man, let's say, just give an example. You're in a Manchester United group chat, and then you start saying that I was hoping City would beat us. You see, it's not in that group chat.
So you're saying the strategy they should use should be a mix of having the officials talk to people, but also using credible independent pollsters to get information, which goes back to the point of truth. You see, I think the whole discussion today, do people really want the truth in Ghana? And this truth is even the political parties. Do we actually want the truth about what happened, or we just want to confirm our biases and do what we've preconceived
and that's
to do?
why I mentioned the independence, because if you are going with Okwe is a big man in the party, former speaker, former MP, and he comes and is the
But he won't go himself. He's a chair.
I'm just saying, let's say he goes. Let's just give the example.
Yeah.
Right? And he's at the place and he's the one talking to them. They might even feel like, even though I have these concerns, because this big man is in front of me, I can't say certain things.
Did you hear Chairman Sabonsu say this week that some people in Kumasi say they don't feel shy now voting for NDC?
Yes, but that's people in. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about if you are doing it, how they are doing it. And that's why I mentioned the party part and the independent part, just talking to normal people. That's why I mentioned the two.
No, I hear you. I hear you 100%. Let me do some quick bill payments before I take some comments. So the whole thing has switched from the discussion around
it's late,
I'm just summarizing. No, right. From summarizing the economic dialogue to MPP's response and MPP's posturing, and whether the MPP has a strategy, which is, or was there any leadership in the MPP, and all of that, and now putting all of this around nation building and normal politics. I feel like we need to talk about politics as usual. What would it take to have a real how do I put it, a national focused discourse? All right. I think a lot of politicians want politics as usual. MPP chops 8 years, then it comes to chop for 8 years. That's not what we want. We want whoever comes to do the work and to do it for posterity, which is why a lot of times we seem to be at odds with the way the politicians think and do things. Because for them, it's a zero-sum game, and it's more about being in power and what you can do with it, and being in opposition and what you can do outside of power and all of that. So you can send us your views. Anyway, Old Mutual is promising financial freedom, peace of mind, smooth retirement planning. They are not just mere phrases. They form the DNA of our well-being. So whether you're making sure your child's education is taken care of when you're no more, ensuring lives to start a business or preparing for retirement, Old Mutual is that insurance company that cares for what truly matters to you the most. Call 0307 000 600 or visit oldmutual.com.gh for more information. And the future of solar is here. It's more affordable than ever. Translight Solar, your trusted brand in solar solutions for the past 10 years, is making it easier for you to own a reliable solar power system. With our flexible payment program starting at 49,000 cedis, you can power your home or business by paying just 30% upfront and spreading the rest over a 12 to 24 month period. It's that simple. And that means 1,650 every month. Now, this marks Translight Solar's 10th anniversary. We're celebrating with you with some big deals. Call us on 050-4249-229 or visit translightsolar.com.
My friend Packwell. Well, that shouldn't set your heart racing with Obaya Provident Insurance's reliable WhatsApp assistant. You can buy, renew, and file claims for your vehicle anytime, anywhere. And I mean, baby. Simply add Obaya's number 0242426396 to your phone contact, send a hi, and follow the prompts. She will assist you with everything from buying a new policy to renewing an existing one or even filing a claim. It's a hassle-free and super convenient one. So grab your phone and chat with Obaya. Obaya, baby, with Provident Insurance, man, you are covered. Now play, win, and celebrate Ghanaian heritage. Test your skills in Owari. Ampe, Ludo, and more prizes await the champions on 15th March 2025. There will be lots of fun, games, activities, and freebies. Feel the rhythm of Ghana's music legends. Join us for an unforgettable night of hip life, high life, music, friends at ARC on March 22nd, 2025. Mark your calendars and join us as we celebrate the Ghana Month celebration with lots of fun and a shopping experience at the Achimota Retail Center. Remember that the Achimota Retail Center Ghana Month celebration runs throughout March with cultural performances, games, and exclusive promotions all March long. Now visit our social media platforms: Instagram, Achimota Retail Center, and same for Facebook and TikTok. You wouldn't want to miss this.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Let's talk about cements then. Diamond 42.5 hour grade, highest quality on the Ghanaian market. We've been helping Ghanaian homeowners, block makers, and supporting numerous constructions with high quality brands since the year 2000. And we are rated green by the EPA. Now we have the 32.5 hour grade on the market. It's good for your market, your pocket. Make Diamond Cement your number one choice. We are everywhere, but our factories are in Apalao, Takoradi, and Buepe. Please call these numbers: 0244 313 368, 0540 111 978. Diamond Cement is still as hard as a diamond.
All right, so we've been discussing the economy, the national economic dialogue, and the need for a truly national platform. And Godfrey's question to MPP was why they didn't take advantage of the big platform to rather make their point. So that, for example, after Atu Forsen had done his 40-something slides, when they went into the when they go into the breakout sessions, the MPP finance group can say, look, we understand the economy of stuff, but what you're saying is not necessarily true, because you see, whichever strategy that will be formed must be based on the right facts.
Yeah.
So that the MPP could have chosen to use that approach. Number two, they could have chosen to wait for the government to finish, reflect on it, and then do a proper response. They chose to do a press conference at the exact same time this was happening. The media attention was on the national conference. And the way we are discussing this, it appears to be that the strategy... Look, this is how I'm going to put it. The strategy assumes business as usual. Mm-hmm. This is again, I could be wrong. The MPP strategy assumes business as usual, but I think that the way our electoral map has been altered, anybody who thinks this is business as usual for both government and opposition is in for a big shock. You get it? Now, the way MPP was wiped out in this election, NDC can be wiped out in 4 years. Because people are becoming very savvy and very aware of issues. So I don't think opposition should be opposition as usual. I feel like there should be more nuance to the way opposition is done. Knowing that, politicians are in the business of winning elections, but it should also be, you can't win elections if you don't win hearts.
Yeah.
And there are certain ways you can win hearts by appearing to be reasonable. You get it? Number two, the government cannot assume that their mandate means they can do anything. And therefore, we have the power, so we can talk anyhow and do anything we want. Or appoint anybody to do anything because we got 2/3. That would be their greatest downfall. Okay, so you cannot interpret the 2/3 mandate to mean 2/3 of the country is for to help with everybody. All right, so that they are micro minority or they are mighty minority. I think, you see, the lesson Ghanaians want politicians to learn is that things cannot continue the same way they are for both government and opposition. All right, but it looks like the stubbornness of our politicians makes them want to keep doing politics as usual. So they can't help themselves. When you put a politician on from the government, his first instinct, let me give you an example. This is an interesting example. So, yesterday I had Felix Ofuzu in an interview with, what's his name? Selom, I don't know, on the Hatch thing. Most of his responses were aimed at MPP. Forgetting that some of the points Selom was raising were not raised by MPP people. For example, Domelevo had supposedly made a post. Domelevo is a member of Oral, and he had made a post scathingly criticizing the government for this Hatch thing, Hatch village thing. But if you listen to Felix, he's like, MPP are funny because they themselves, you understand? So, for even government, you see, the politicians see everything as a zero-sum game. If somebody is criticizing me, he's from MPP. You know, I'm saying that kind of thinking is what leads to this stop-start development. There's a bigger country than the two political parties, and there are more reasonable people from both sides who are saying this thing you are doing is right or wrong. Okay. And what I see is that politicians are not comfortable when the times change and they have to change their ways. They prefer to do things the same old way. Let's oppose. Let's damn the opposition. Let's move what we have to do. Ghanaians want nuance. Ghanaians want bipartisanship. Ghanaians want clear leadership and direction. They want policy consistency. They want a partnership between citizens and government. But politicians will not listen because they prefer because it's easy to do politics, isn't it? It's easy to do politics because politics, as usual, assumes a dumb populace. And we are not foolish anymore. That's the problem. So the problem MPP is facing is that people have become wiser. So Che is telling you that Kumasi people, for many years, they were told that NDC, Rollins for party. NDC for this, and now NDC in India. Some guys said that they have made Rollins for independence. That's the posture. But now NDC is getting people wearing t-shirts in Kumasi, and they're like, what's going on there? Okay, times have changed. Now, if politicians don't realize that times have changed, I think what people are saying is that, dude, cut through the chase. Stop giving me BS. I know what you're doing there. Do you get it? So now when a politician comes to a room and is talking, people listen, but they look at you and say, bro, the thing you are saying, we've heard it before. You get it? And I think that the hope of the nation is an enlightened citizenry, which is why we have to keep doing what we are doing. When people's eyes open and they can see agenda and they can see that this guy is being paid to say what he's saying, even some popular platforms will lose their popularity because people want the truth. They want objectivity. You have to be fair to all. Putting the country at the center. That's what you need to do. And there's a growing group of Ghanaians who want that. They want reasonable bipartisanship. That's not to say don't be politics. You're MPP, cool. You're NDC, cool. But Ghana is bigger than the two of you. We have kids who can write and read. Yesterday I met somebody. He said something to me. I was shocked. He said he visited a constituency in Ghana. I stand to be corrected, but he swore by his grandmother's right foot.
Haven't seen road before.
That he was in a constituency, Lambusi, and he said there is not 1 centimeter of tarred road in that constituency.
The entire constituency.
I challenged him. He said he went there. He said he spoke to the MP,
Lambusi,
and this person is a former government official. He said there is not a single centimeter of tarred road in the whole of Lambusi. Number two, a lot of the people in the constituency he met had never seen chippings. So for them, all roads are dust.
This is Titus Bayos, please.
I'm telling you. And this person was telling me that he visited the constituency in December and that there was not he didn't say kilometer, 1 centimeter of quota in the whole constituency.
This is the Upper West.
Bro. So what I'm saying is that this is the kind of situation you have. But now with more information, plurality of media, people are informed. So politicians, there has to be more nuance in the way we do it because people are not stupid anymore. You get it? I'll give you another example. This is the typical game of politicians. They will call you, bro, how are you? Cool, opposition. then they'll drop you some story. Can you it's basically they want to push some agendas for themselves.
Yeah.
Charlie, the times have changed. People are not interested in those things.
They block you.
We want a reasonable. Me, I don't care.
Yeah.
I tell myself that my media work, if you won't mind me, it's even better. I even have 4 hours, I'll fire.
Yeah.
So if you even mind me, it's your own problem. But you see, we can do more than agenda setting. Even if you want to set agenda, set some proper agenda. Say, okay, look, bro, the port, there's some fishy thing going on at the port. People are making money. Can you put this out? But
let's look into
people just want to set agenda to denigrate somebody. Charlie, we don't do those things. There is not, we are more dedicated to the country's future than simply your parochial agenda. Okay, people should realize that where the thing has reached, agenda won't agenda again. Come up with superior ideas. Come up with facts. Come up with leads that we can follow up on. Some guy called me, says constituency, some people are doing Galamsey, and some people are involved. So we should send a report there, we take our time, we plan it, we don't rush, we go, we cover it, then we do a proper report. It's not like today come and shout. You have to be strategic because you want duty bearers to act. This is the kind of agenda I would take. Okay, or some company, they are stealing money and the secretary is not doing that. You send some people there, you call these guys, you get it. But to just get up and say, Charlie, today put me on air, let's press conference. Charlie, those things,
Bernard, so
Charlie, we don't have time for that.
But if I may, one of the difficulties I'm sure of the candidate for the opposition now, many will recall, was the fact that the economic situation was so bad that anytime he was presenting his ideas, he always had to remind us that he's going to be his own man.
Yeah.
It was clear he was distancing himself from a lot of the decisions
Yes.
that the government made and the impact it had on voters.
Correct.
And he kept telling us he's going to be his own man.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's only being a mate. He's not had the steer. And
Yeah.
so when he comes in, he's going to do all this.
Yeah.
And so for me, one of the reasons why Ghanaians actually voted the way they did was to actually get to also see the real nature of the rot. So part of what we
So
are
they
seeing,
didn't believe that if they
No.
gave the MPP candidate a chance,
yes,
they will see the real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So part of what you are seeing from the NDC is what people really wanted to know because we felt it,
Yeah.
but some of the figures we couldn't put our fingers on.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times if you said anything, you're going to be questioned, what's your evidence to this? And so now even the candidate of the opposition at the time, who is now president, tells us, okay, I knew it was that bad, but I didn't know it was so criminally run down.
Yeah.
So everyone is also expecting the government agencies and the people who have been appointed to come and account for how bad the thing really is. So
Yeah.
people are looking forward to that. But the other point also is that those who have also taken over are politicians. So if they take over the data they see, if it is really bad,
they'll put the political
they are
twist
going
on
to
it.
tell you it's so bad. And if
Exactly.
they saw anything that's good, they were not really going to tell you.
Exactly.
And it's in the interest of any party that has lost so badly to also come and tell you that, look, we are not that bad.
That's why you need credible media.
And so then
Independent, credible media to check and tell you the difference between
Exactly.
the lies and the truth.
So they're also coming to let you know their side of the story, which I get and I appreciate that. But it will be in the interest of the party that's now in opposition to also read the room and see the state of the people they are trying to engage, and then find a very interesting or find a very strategic way of engaging them. To be honest, the sins of the NPP are not lost on Ghanaians as we speak now. And people have not gotten over the trauma that they put the economy and everyone through. So if they come and they are doing hard facing, trying to show us that, yeah, we've lost, but we are hyper few minority, and they're trying to, give us that posturing, it is going to annoy people some more.
So
I'll give you an example,
You
Bernard.
think that the minority need to show contrition?
Yes, they are not showing that it's like we are shameless. That's what you're getting.
But okay, what if they say, look, I've already lost the election, you punished me already, so what's your problem?
No, but you have to feel it. It's part of the process.
No,
if you are
but-
going to,
but-
but I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example, which will drive home the point I'm making.
wait, go on.
See, during the COVID-19 thing, right? We're in a difficult situation. Everyone was afraid. There were lockdowns and everything. You remember what the opposition did? they put together a team of their health professionals and then said that, look, they were wishing the government well. Ghanaians were going through difficult times. They were rallying Ghanaians to follow what the leadership at the time was rolling out, and that their proposals they are willing to put at the at service of the government.
Good.
Where our economy is now,
I get your point.
even the opposition now,
they can.
A lot of them know. Is that bad? They didn't want to have a taste of what they were doing.
So you think that there's a way of the opposition that can be
if we are in this
more
now,
amenable to the citizenry?
So try and let the Ghanaians know that, look, indeed, COVID was that bad, and some of the situations, some of the taxes we put in, they were really bad, or I mean, they were punitive. You've not liked it, but they were in our interest. We had to do A, B, and C. But now this government has come. We're trying to lend them our support, and what based on our experience and hindsight, we're trying to also put ourselves at the service of A, B, C, and D. But you can always then come and correct the data they put out that you think is unfair to you. But if you come and you're putting up a posturing that looks a bit disruptive or looks like, okay, everything they're putting out there is false. I mean, the main evidence of the truth of what we are seeing is that you've lost by a very humbling margin.
So you feel like I mean, maybe I should let the average non-aligned, if there's anything like that, or even if they are aligned, how do people see the MPP's opposition? Are they and by the way, it's even a legitimate question. Does how the opposition do the opposition even matter?
Bernard,
does it matter? Is it not more important the way the government governs? Right?
No, it is important.
It's very important.
It is important how the government governs. It is important how the opposition opposes.
Okay.
You see, because the opposition can become the government over a period of time.
Okay.
So you need an opposition that is constantly in the framework of, I have the ability to become a government, which is why it's important that you hold. Sometimes you hold.
But it's not why they are saying they won't set the record straight.
Yes,
because they say that if you set the record, if you twist the record, then you have a false foundation, right?
Yes, but the records are public. You see, the problem I have with some of these things and how you've spoken about how the opposition opposes, and I've had that problem with both parties. Is, look, we've turned everything into a debate.
Oh my God.
You are the economist.
Oh my God.
How do we debate how much money the Bank of Ghana has?
I don't know.
You think about it.
I don't know, my brother.
I cannot debate you over the amount of money you have in your bank account. Because if we wrote to the bank,
we can check.
We can easily check how much money.
It depends
what's
on.
your balance.
But you know, politicians will say, we are saying money. Are you talking assets? Are you talking cash? Are you talking? That's what they'll say. So they'll say. So when people say, I have 10,000 cedis in my account, but you have a plot of land in OUB. Do we add it? Is it liquid enough? They do all those things.
See,
so they'll say when we meant we had $1 million, it included lands. They'll say no, it didn't include. That's what they do.
Yeah, you see, and that's the problem.
Charlie,
we turned everything into a debate.
I'm telling you.
So acquiring what is even a basic set of facts to make a point becomes a matter of, is it green, red, and black facts, or is it red, white, and blue?
But
facts?
let's remember, during the vetting, the MPP too accused, for example, they said to the current finance minister, when you were in opposition, you were saying some things about the economy.
It's true.
Which now they ask you don't want to stop.
Running away.
That's the thing. So you see, it's the way we do our politics. Do you know why? Because the citizenry, you see, this is how I say, our politics as usual thrives when people don't know. When people's eyes open, your BS won't work again. So I'm saying to you that our biggest job, give people credible information and hope that they will use that information. But when the politician comes to lie to them, they will see this guy is a liar.
Yes.
But until that is done, they will confuse the public with all their things.
Yes. So just to wrap up, two things for me. The information must be made available, yes. But again, I'm sticking with the situation we have now and why I think we need better from the NPP in this. Look, I hear what you say. I hear what Caleb says. I hear what Susuji says on this matter. Bernard, in even going through that phase that you're talking about, the healing phase and all those things, it shouldn't take you long to know who speaks. And you see, you spoke about people looking for contrition. Who will sound contrite at this moment? So that is the person you say, on this matter, let this person go, because the person is who we want to hear. The public would be a bit more welcoming.
Yeah.
After we've lost by 1 million 2 months ago, and people being so disappointed in us, and us losing all that goodwill, this might be a good person to
so
go
the
out
gauge
there.
would even use.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, that where is the leadership in all
So
this?
even deciding.
You see, because that's why I asked you, is it Parliament? Because Parliament cannot sit and make a decision as to who will speak for the party.
So who is in charge of MPP as we speak?
That's the question I'm asking. Because some of the moves are they might sound like minor strategic moves, but they do mean a lot to people. Who determines at what time we speak?
To your mind, who do you think is in charge of MPP?
I don't know. That's the question I'm asking. You see, because as
a serious
place
to be in. No.
Yes. Because
so who is the most important person in MPP today? Who, if he says something, everybody will listen? No.
In MPP,
Bernard, you see,
I don't think it's Apenyo.
There was a particular person. Anytime he spoke,
no, I don't think so.
There was a particular person on the minority.
Yes.
Anytime he spoke, no matter how angry people were with the NPP,
they were relaxed. Patrick Buama.
I'm telling you.
But you're asking a very broad question. I'm saying in MPP today.
Yes.
Maybe it's Kufuor.
Maybe
Kufuor.
Yeah, but Kufuor has gone past that level.
But I'm saying that he's probably the person that if he says something, everybody will listen.
True.
Possibly.
But you see, what I am...
Maybe in my head, number 2.
Before Fred Sachs.
Number 2 may be Chairman Sabonsu.
The point...
Maybe.
You see, the large point I'm trying to make is...
Yeah.
The party must be seen to lead. And not Parliament.
Yes.
In this regard for me. Where I sit at the moment, a lot of its main actors and its main leadership seems to have emerged from Parliament. Which is okay, because the MPs make up the party. But are they leaving their MPs to determine
long-term strategy
of the party simply because we haven't finished healing?
I hear you. So that's the question for tomorrow. Problem of the day. Who is in charge of MPP?
I just say something small. Opposition is important how they do, because they need to be responsible and hold the government accountable and do it well and in a way that engenders goodwill among the people that
so we need them to get their act together.
Yeah, it's important.
All right. MPP get their act together. That's the
while they do, I mean, I'm sure some people are also looking for litigation-free land, where there's no minority, no opposition. If you are looking for land like that, please talk to Royal Kingdom Estate. They specialize in land acquisition, construction, design, property management, and more. They have properties in prime areas, Accra and Ebri. Land starts at 90,000 cedis. They offer flexible payment plans. They have affordable homes ranging from 2 bedrooms and premium furnished apartments for short rentals. So please call them 055-755-5909 or 0272-7788. 80 Royal Kingdom Estate Building Communities Nurturing Dreams.
We have 2 big interviews when we come back. We're speaking to the EU Ghana Agriculture Program. Some fantastic things happening there. Then we'll take you into day 2 of our on-air series for Heritage Month. Fascinating history of some personalities in Accra. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse hand soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every use. Perfect for all your hand washing moments throughout the day. Available in a variety of variants and delightful flavors. Choose Cleanse for yourself, your family, and friends. Make Cleanse your daily essential. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Dear home, no interest for 2 years. Are you ready to step into your dream home? With Lakeside Estate's exclusive offer, you can own your own home in just 2 years with no interest payment. This offers you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle change. Choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of Lakeside Hills clusters. Your future awaits you. Imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without the burden of interest. As your CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. Call us today on 020-477-5043 or 020-477-5042. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour for our available homes.
TNC supplied. Make your dream a reality. Lakeside Estate. Quality homes for all.
Electroland Ramadan promotion is here. Get unbeatable deals on top brands Samsung, TCL, Media, and NASCO. Get NASCO 166-liter top mount freezer at 3,999 Ghana cedis plus a free flask. NASCO tabletop freezer starting from 1,999 Ghana cedis plus a free flask. NASCO chest freezer at 3,899 Ghana cedis plus free NASCO deep fryer. Get our Media 198-liter chest freezer at a whooping discount from 5,249 Ghana cedis to 3,999 Ghana cedis. For 4,499 Ghana cedis, you can get a TCL bottom mount fridge plus free NASCO meat grinder. Get our Samsung top load washing machine at 6,499 Ghana cedis plus free NASCO deep fryer. Rush to our showrooms and authorized dealers across Ghana. Call 0503 159 739 for inquiries. Electroland, home of affordable luxury appliances and electronics.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It'd be very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244 313 368 or 0540 111 978 or 0202 021 175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
This new year, let your journey be worry-free. Renew or buy a brand new motor insurance policy with Provident Insurance from January to March 2025 and enjoy exciting rewards such as fuel coupons and exclusive Provident souvenirs. Need assistance? Chat with Obaya, our friendly WhatsApp assistant on 024-242-6396. She will sort you out babia, anywhere, anytime, or visit any of our branches, agents, or brokers today. Provident Insurance, your reliable partner for 43 years, keeping you covered every mile of the way. Don't miss out on this special offer. Terms and conditions apply. With Provident, man, you're covered.
Provident, man, you're covered.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
20 minutes past 9, City Breakfast Show. The European Union Ghana Agriculture Program under the 11th Development Fund supports Ghana's agri modernization by addressing some key constraints. Now, there are many aspects of this project. One of this is called capacity building. They provide scholarships to close to 20, this is 19 students at various levels, MPhil, PhD, and that kind of thing. And this morning, I'm going to speak to two beneficiaries of this capacity building that the EU's project has done, together with the man who oversees cooperation for the EU and a research institution that supervises these scholarships. So essentially, there's going to be a big graduation tomorrow, or the day, tomorrow. The International Water Management Institute and the EU delegation will host a students' graduation event on the theme, Building Capacity of the Next Generation for Climate Resilient Development. Now, this is at the University of Ghana. And some of the graduates and the beneficiaries of the research grants are here to talk to us about what they've learned from the project. So I have Nashiratu Dauda. She is an MPhil student in Migration Studies, University of Ghana. Nashiratu, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I also have Miss Esther Darimani. I like the way you spell your Darimani. Yes. MPhil in Development Studies, SD Dombo University in Wa. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
I also have Mr. Mina Massimo, who is the head of cooperation for the EU delegation in Ghana. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I have Dr. William Kwame, Regional Research Development Economist, International Water Management Institute. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Let me start with the students. So let me come to Nashiratu. Tell me about the research you did. What are some of the key takeaways and how it can transform our country?
Right. Thank you so much, Bernard.
My research was I assessed the climate change, migration, and food security within the context of social transformation. Because if you look at our society, it is very much a system, and therefore everything around us affects everything. And so if you look at the concept of climate change in the northern part of Ghana, especially where my study was, that's Upper West region, I looked at the Lambusia district, specifically some 2 communities, Bangwon and then Hineting.
Okay.
Sorry, I may not pronounce it.
I mentioned Lambusia today on show.
Yes,
on a different
we overheard
subject.
you when we were out there.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you look at the studies carried out in these 2 communities representing the area, climate change is very much actually happening, and this is evident in the impacts that are being observed in the area, and then this is actually corroborated by some of the data I picked from what I took from Ghana Meteorological Agency, talking about how the rainfall pattern has changed over there. The temperature conditions have actually changed, because if you look at it in the past, like 10 years, that's the past decade, the highest temperature recorded in the area was actually in the last decade. That is 39.3 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
However, you could also see that the highest rainfall recorded within the area was also equally seen in the last decade. That is over 1,000 millimeters in that particular area. But here's the thing. The rainfall pattern is actually erratic, as observed. In this case, what that means is that farmers cannot actually plan with what is actually happening, because sometimes it comes very heavily, sometimes it comes slightly. So you cannot really plan with this, because we all know that in the northern part of Ghana, their livelihood is very much dependent on
rain-fed agriculture.
Exactly. Exactly. And so if you have rainfall patterns where they cannot rely on, eventually it causes drought along the way, and then it affects very much their agricultural livelihood. And so looking at it as a way of adaptation, we all know migration has very much been with us all this while, especially if you talk about northern Ghana migration. It has always been with us. However, migration has increased in the last decade because of the impacts of climate change.
I see.
Because if you look at it, when I was even carrying out my research, as I'm sitting down there asking questions, you find cars are just passing by as though they are just announcing everybody who is ever ready to come and sit down and let's go.
Let's move to Accra.
Let's move to Accra.
So it was happening right under your doorstep.
Right under my nose, so to speak. That's how we always
some of
say
the
it
migration
in Ghana.
is instigated by the climate change, because if they don't have good harvests, they have no work to do. They have to come and do.
Exactly.
So there's a relationship between climate resilience and migration.
Exactly.
And you establish that very clearly.
Exactly.
So that if they were sort of things to intervene in their rainfall, they would not be coming down in droves like that.
In droves, that's the
way.
way.
So you clearly establish that link.
That's the way, because it's most likely that some people may still actually want to migrate. However, it can actually reduce the numbers, because it's not everybody who may actually want to migrate. They have established that very clearly.
So it's a serious push factor.
It's a serious push factor. Serious push factor.
Wow.
Because if you notice, and in fact, one thing that I also noticed was that it has actually also increased women migration. This was something that was very much on the low. However, women are now being able to migrate, and the men have no say. So you realize that the issue of climate change has also, in a way, changed gender norms.
Wow.
Because men have started accepting the fact that women need to also migrate in order to come back and contribute to the welfare of the home.
So that was quite a far-reaching study.
Yes.
Your study, what was your study?
Mine was on gender and climate change adaptation.
Is it in the same area?
Yeah, similar to what she said.
Was it in Lambusia or wherever?
Mine was in Laura District.
Laura District.
Municipality, sorry.
Which is further up in the Upper West region.
Yes.
I see. So what do you suppose the best lesson you've learned, or how was your capacity built under this project? What did you benefit?
Okay, we had a lot of trainings organized for us to build our knowledge in the area of climate change, resilience, and then social transformation. Mind you, we are within the university system as well, so we get the university training as well. But with the scholarship, we were given funds in supporting our studies, stipends, and then even the research that we did was taken care of. So that's what I'll say about that. Yes.
Wonderful. Let me come to Mr. Massimo. So this EU Ghana Agric program, we are told it's played a crucial role in supporting agri-development in Ghana. So what motivated the EU to invest in building research and academic capacity?
Yeah, thank you, first of all, for receiving us. I have to say that the European Union is very committed to investing in research and academic capacity, because we think that really we believe that knowledge and innovation are the key drivers of sustainable development. And with projects like this one, Social Transformation Research, which is part of a much broader Ghana agricultural program, we support the development of policies which are informed by rigorous, solid scientific research, which are also tailored to the specific needs of the local communities. And if we want a more inclusive planning of the climate resilience policies, we need research which looks at the interconnection between these societal changes and climate vulnerabilities.
We know EU is very big on sustainable agric. I know this personally because when I traveled to the WTO, we're told that a lot of the positive agric policies are EU pushed. So EU is very strong on sustainable agric, sustainable farming, climate resilience. So how did the scholarship align with this overall objective? Because the scholarship is a very small thing for 1 or 2 people. How does it align with the overall strategy for sustainable agric?
Yeah, it's a very good point. I would say that by investing in education and research, the European Union contributes to the development of a skills workforce. And that can drive the innovation in the policy making. So also it's very important to understand that the European Union approach is, we call it integrated. Integrated because it includes, is part of a much wider program to transform the development in northwest of Ghana. And it includes support to farmers, aggregators, small and medium enterprises, but also to a government, national and local level. And the program also includes as a very important element on infrastructure. We know how important is infrastructure for economic development, notably road infrastructure. So there was a lot of feeder roads, farm roads, rehabilitation, and also new construction, and also an irrigation scheme.
Wow.
So this is really to complete this part on research and education, completes these...
No, it's very interesting to have an agric program with a far-reaching projects in scholarships, even infrastructure. I think that's quite brilliant. Let me come to the project now. So you know there's the Ghana Agric program,
yes.
and I wish there are many projects. Now the Reach STR project is the project that has birthed these beautiful researchers. Tell me about the project and how it helped these students achieve their goals.
All right, so resilience against climate change. That's what REACH means.
Okay.
And the STR is Social Transformation Research.
Oh, okay.
So basically, for the European Union Agricultural Program, they are doing market-oriented agriculture, infrastructure projects like roads, irrigation systems. Okay. All these projects will create transformation in society. All right, men will benefit differently, women will benefit differently.
Correct.
We need people to do the research for this, and so that is what the Reach STR project is about.
Now, beyond the graduation, they are graduating tomorrow, right?
Yes, they are.
And there are 19 of them from various universities.
Yes.
Nicely. Now, how does the institute that you work for, IMWI, plan to engage these scholars beyond the project? Or you finish the project, get your award, bye-bye. Or you have a relationship with them?
First, you need to understand that International Water Management Institute is one of 14 international agricultural organizations in the world.
Wonderful.
It's a conglomerate. It's called CGIAR.
Okay.
And we focus mainly on water resource management. Okay, so our research for development is about agricultural water resource management, surface water, groundwater. Okay, and we also do a lot of capacity building.
Correct.
Okay, and so what we have done is that first, for these students, apart from the scholarship, we gave them soft skills. Okay, so we have trained them consistently how to write, how to organize yourself for the job market, etc. And then we have employed some of them.
Wonderful.
Some of them work for us as interns, some as consultants, some as assistants. Okay, and over the research period, that's what we have been doing. Esther here, for instance, is our intern. Nashiata does some things for us, etc.
So it's work, research, integrated.
Exactly.
Everything is integrated in this thing. The program, the project,
very much
even the interview is integrated.
Very much. And here's the best part. For our master's degree students, 2 of them are already gone abroad to have their PhD, and they are working still on social services or social systems. So it's kind of.
This is very interesting. So I'm sure PhD is on the horizon.
Of course.
For both of you.
Yes.
What key lessons have you learned from and I'm sure there will be good EU universities willing to take you up.
Yes.
So that's another component.
Yeah, I'm very happy to talk about our Erasmus program.
Correct.
Yes, Erasmus
which is the
program,
largest EU program for mobility of students.
Correct.
It's very broad. It's education, training, but also sport and youth.
Okay.
And there have been more than 1,000 students from Ghana who have benefited in the last 20 plus years.
So you plan to be an Erasmus scholar one day?
There should be.
It's a very important EU scholarship. Let me end with you. What lessons have you learned from implementing this scholarship, particularly from a developmental perspective? Because there are ways in which you can do something just to say I've finished.
Yeah.
But the way this is such a broad-based, what lessons can it provide for even development interventions in the future, do you think?
So the whole idea is that for whatever development intervention you are doing, for sustainability's sake, you need to train people, you need to build a capacity of people, especially the next generation, who can pick the ideas and move on. Myself, I'm a product of this kind of capacity building, and I am working like this. But one of the lessons that you learn is that there are skills in the universities, there are students needing support. So if you can bring partnerships, university, donors, students together, then we can collectively generate the ideas we need to push Ghana forward. That's how
amazing. I wish I had more time. We don't have time. So thank you, Dr. William Kwame.
Bernard, can we give just some shout out to some people, please?
We don't have time.
My only shout out
some
goes to
5
Gideon.
seconds, please.
It's not a request show.
So
who do you want to
very
shout to?
important to us. Yeah, so we just want to thank the EU, UMI, and then Professor Te of the and then Dr. Setrena. These are people who played a key role in our journey thus far.
Thank
so
you
so much.
Thank you, Nashiratu. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Dr. Kwame. Thank you, Mr. Massimo. It's 8:34. We have to go straight to our honor series for the Heritage Month. We're discussing a bit of our history with Kweku Dakwankra. We're looking at the Greater Accra region. Stay with us.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Ago.
Welcome to another episode of our on-air series here on Heritage Month 2025. My name is Bernard Avle. We're looking at people of historical significance, and today we're looking at two important personalities from the Greater Accra region, Alfred J. Okanse and Augustus Molade Akinwumi. My guest is our historian and, of course, writer Kweku Dakwankra. Stay with us.
Ago.
Welcome back. So today we're looking at people of historical significance from the Greater Accra region, and my guest Kweku Dakwankra. We're starting off with Alfred J. Okanse, not to be confused with the broadcaster. We're talking about a man who did a lot for the media.
That is relative.
I won't be surprised because Alfred Okanse hosts a show on TV3, and you can tell that he's coming from a certain lineage.
Yeah.
So who was Alfred J. Okanse, the original Alfred J. Okanse?
So Alfred J. Okanse was a huge personality in the Gold Coast. He was not only a merchant prince, his grandfather was a merchant prince, his great-grandfather was a merchant prince. They started the businesses on the coast. And his grandfather even had a book. He wrote about his experiences as a businessman when he went to England and stayed there. So this is a person from a big-time elite. And he was involved in businesses, gramophone. We know what is called gramophone, takwa machine. He used to play songs. He was also into auctioneering. He was also into newspaper business. He was into publication and cinema.
Wow.
And cinema.
So that's Alfred J. Okansi. Born what year, from where?
He was born on 14 December 1879 at Adan to John Episi Okansi. And the mother is Salom Okansi. But the local, they call him Congo. That's a name. And Alfred had all his education at the government school, moved all the way somehow to Central Province and have the collegiate education. And then he was somebody who was involved in businesses. So early as he completed in collegiate education back in Accra, he entered into business. And he had the knack for business so much that in no time, he was trading with the F&A Swansea, which later became UAC, and now it became Unilever, and so on. So you could see even around that time, the kind of person he was. Then he engaged in importation business. He was bringing gramophones, he was bringing radio sets at the time, and made a huge money. While making this money, he also realized that the newspaper publication in Accra has gone down with passing of some of the owners of the paper. So he also came out with his own newspaper called African Morning Post, and then the Gold Coast Spectator. In the course of it, he was the first person to hire an outsiders who are very influential. So he brought in Nnamdi Azikiwe and ITA Willis Johnson, and as his editors, and employed Augustus Molade Okansi as his lawyer, in-house lawyer, with Kofi Edumu Abosman.
Augustus Molade
Akiwumi as his lawyer. So Augustus was working at the editorial department of the African Morning Post. And this was the time, it was his paper that introduced radical nationalism, which Nnamdi Azikiwe was writing. And it was his paper that was the most fearsome. The Europeans didn't like the paper at all because of its radicalism, being spearheaded by these two iron-hot radicals from Sierra Leone and Nigeria. So in the course of editorial of one of his papers, Nnamdi Azikiwe wrote that African has a god and attacked the Europeans, and as a result, he was cited for seditious libel, and he was defended by Edumu Abosman, Molade Akiwumi, and their legal team was headed by Franz Dove, whose daughter is Mabel Dove. He at that time was the president of the Gold Coast Bar, and he led the case, and he won the case so much. In fact, he defeated the colonial white lawyer so much that year the law report was not published because of the way he devastated his opponent at court. So as a result, despite winning all these cases, he was deported from Ghana to go back to Nigeria.
So this is Nnamdi Azikiwe. Who later became the first Prime Minister of Nigeria.
Yes,
so
President of Nigeria.
So he did a stint with the African Morning Post, founded by Alfred J. Okansi.
And he did a very solid work. He is the one who produced the radicalism in Nkrumah. A.W. Kojo Thompson, Anthony Kojo Thompson, all of them. It was his newspaper, which was the organic, iron-hot, reactionary nationalist paper of the time, where everybody who wants to get ahead, if you go through his paper. In fact, the paper was so famous that Nana Oforiatta was the one who was the first to call for Adikiwe to be sacked from Ghana. He banished him at Achimegbuakwa areas not for him to come there. And then he came to Accra to enforce the Legislative Council to also get him to be sacked from Ghana. Because Adikiwe often referred to Nana Oforiatta as a Sir Oracle, whom the British, whatever come out of his mouth, they used to make law and they listen to him than any other person. So African Morning Post was really an opponent, and it was being bankrolled by A.J. Okansi. Apart from that, he had a Spectator, which was often also edited by J.B. Dankwa for his nationalism activities. So he offered opportunity. In 1934, when there was the need to go for the deputation on the introduction of the seditious libel law as well as the Accra water rate, he participated and contributed money towards the movement of the people. apart from that, his nationalism courses also include he supported during the cocoa hold up in 1938, forming the Gold Coast Federation of Farmers. He bankrolled them, and they were able to, hold the cocoa up to ensure that the prices of the cocoa goes up before that. And it could only be done by someone like him who have the financial muscle to really actually bring the farmers together to fight against the colonial policy of sending the cocoa overseas.
Wow.
So that is how Alfred J. Okansi behaved.
Did he have political ambitions, so it was just business?
It was business, and the business was also mixed with nationalism of his people, because independence means opportunities for him. So beyond the nationalism contributions, A.J. Okansi was the man we call the cinema king. He traveled to England and he saw the still movies, and he was so fascinated at what he saw at the Palladium Cinema in England. So when he returned, he bought the equipment and everything. He came to Accra and he opened his Palladium Cinema, which is in Accra today. So Palladium, he was the one who brought Palladium to Accra.
Wow.
And opened the cinema. And then also opened a printing press he called Palladium Publication Press, which he also was using to produce the newspapers as well as publishing other people's work around that time. And then he thought the man was really ahead of his time, competing with Benjamin Holt around that time, who was also into cinema. He started to move out of Accra. First, he went to Koforidua and opened the Mikado Cinemas in Koforidua. Then from Koforidua, he went to Ashanti, Okansi movie cinema centers in Ashanti.
Wow.
There's a colonial pictures about it. And then he went to Sekendi Takoradi. For people who are in Sekendi Takoradi who do not know, he opened the Princess Cinema in Sekendi Takoradi.
Wow.
So this is the man who really spent his tentacle in terms of cinema business. So historians call him the king of cinema.
The king of cinema.
The king of cinema. When it was still, he introduced a sort of innovation during the period. It was still movies. So like Charlie Chaplin, you don't hear this thing. And he brought the radio sets that he has bought to give it a voice. So his cinema was quite entertaining. Not only the still pictures, but you will also be hearing a kind of voice-overs that talk about what is going on. And this man did really well in terms of how he contributed towards our nationalism dispensation. He was one of the bankrollers of Ratepayers Association because of his elitist nature. He was a supporter of Ratepayers Association, bankrolling a lot of the guys involved in their politics. So A.J. Okansi later on will marry a woman called Akle Okansi, and with her he had a lot of children, whom today many of them are in England and then in the United States. They are top time people. I have had a couple of meetings, some of them, and having some discussion in something I'm writing on. So his contribution for me was in the area of cinema business, as well as nationalism drive, contributing financially towards deputations that were sent to England to go and make a case for the Gold Coast. Some of the obnoxious legal frameworks that were churned out that were not good for the nation. He contributed. And also in the Cocoa Hold Up, what he did for the farmers. It was really an important step towards our nationalism agenda. People don't talk about the economic nationalism aspect, but Cocoa Hold Up played a critical role in our nationalism drive.
Amazing. Alfred J. Okansi, one of the moguls of media, business, cinema, our first subject for today's episode, where we're looking at persons of historical significance in the Greater Accra region. When we come back, we'll look at Augustus Molade Akinwumi, a contemporary of Okansi's, as we continue this journey on the Heritage Month. Stay with us.
Ago.
Sugar laundry and cleaning service. We take off residential and commercial laundry and cleaning services. So for the laundry, we wash press, fold, and dry clean, carpet cleaning, power robes, sofas, bags, wedding gowns, suits, jackets, etc. We do general cleaning for households and institutions who are moving in and out of their homes. We are equipped, we are convenient, we are affordable, and we have a state-of-the-art laundry room that takes care of all your needs. Contact us today on 0598 02 4224 as well as 0241 815733. Remember to reach us on our social media platforms at N Sugar Laundry and Cleaning Service on Facebook, Instagram, and also on Google. N Sugar Laundry and Cleaning Services, always at your service.
Ago.
Welcome back. This is still the Heritage On Air series on 97.3 Citi FM and on Channel 1 Television. And we're looking at persons of historical significance through the regions. Today, I focus on the Greater Accra region. We've spoken a bit about Alfred J. Okansi. I call him a mogul, business of newspaper, a merchant who did gramophones, vehicles, and some very fantastic publications as well. A Dangbe, born in Ada. Our next person of interest is Augustus Molade Akinwumi. Now, that's an interesting name. Sounds Nigerian. So who was A.M. Akinwumi?
So Augustus Molade Akinwumi is our second speaker
of Parliament.
After E.C. Quest. And he's also a lawyer. He was also a politician and a nationalist. And then a judge. So these were his rules. His Magnus Opus is becoming the Speaker of Parliament.
Would he be the first Dangbe lawyer or judge?
No, he's not a Dangbe.
Oh, sorry, he will be the. Okay, so he was. So where is his origin?
Very good. So he was born in Nigeria.
Okay.
He was born in Nigeria. He's of Yoruba extraction from Yoruba extraction. Both his mother and his father. His father came to Gold Coast around 1870s.
Okay.
He's called Samuel Oyeyemi Akinwumi. He was a trader and he was into cocoa production. In fact, he had the best of cocoa. That is, his cocoa are always signed with SOA, Samuel Oyeyemi Akinwumi. When you see that cocoa, you know it's of the best. Wow. If you go to Mangwase areas in the eastern region, he was the major man who cut all the cocoa and then sent them to England. He made so much money in Gold Coast that he was even a patron of Accra. He was also a Red Cross. He was the head around that time, being chairman of the businessmen in Accra. He made money and owned much of the Makwala market.
So this is the father of Augustus.
Augustus. So he named the Makwala area. It's a Yoruba name with the meaning that is there. So he used to own. But around the time that his children grew up, a lot of children, he decided to send them to England. So he sold the property and the money he made, he sent his children to England to go and stay with the Smith Crosby family in England. And Oyeyemi Molade Akinwumi, who had some little education in Nigeria and some in Accra, was sent to England where he studied at Taunton College. From Taunton, he entered to Fitzwilliams College, Cambridge, where he had his first degree. And while there, he studied banking too at the same time.
Wow.
Then he entered Lincoln's Inn to train as a barrister. And then he was called to the bar there. After being called to the bar, he worked a little bit at England, where in banking sector, and then he returned to Gold Coast. When he came to Gold Coast, his father's business partner was A.J. Okansi.
Okay.
So he quickly moved to A.J. Okansi's newspaper, African Morning Post, where he became the in-house attorney, checking all the libraries' information and reading it out. I wonder even today some of the radio stations employ lawyers at their editorial department to vet what they air. And at that time, the people were curious because the seditious libel law around that time could cripple a newspaper. So they had him as an in-house editor, copy editor who looks through before publications comes out. It was there he met Okansi's daughter, Helen Kabuki Okansi, and married her around that time. And he himself also had 3 sisters, very famous sisters. Banjoku, for example, will marry lawyer Ofeare of Ikrapium, who is the 4th Ikrapium lawyer. Then one will also marry A.W. Kojo Thompson. And another one will also marry Edumwa Bosman, who will produce William Nate Edumwa Bosman, whose son is Carlos von Brazzi, Emmanuel Edumwa Bosman. So you see, it's a lineage like that. So Molade Akiwumi practiced at the African Morning Post as a copy editor, and then he joined A.W. Kojo Thompson's organization, Gamma B Party. So he became a member of Gamma B Party, founding member, and around that time also contested for the election for Accra Town Council. And he won one time, but the rest or he lost. However, in the 1930s, when Kojo Thompson stood against Dr. Nanka Bruce of Ratepayers Association, Akiwumi joined Kofi Edumwa Bosman, as well as the Nnamdi Azikiwe and Willis Johnson. And they campaigned vigorously, and Kojo Thompson won the seat. Unfortunately, Nanka Bruce went to court that it was rigged. So that is the first attempt that a rigged election issue had occurred. The case went to court. They brought in Citi from Cape Coast to lead them, while Nanka Bruce also had Franz Dove leading him for the first Accra, because the Accra one was sort of a rigged election petition. But the first election petition occurred in Cape Coast in 1928. Sir Kobina Kukosa winning the Cape Coast seat, he was sent to court by Citi and the Cape Coast Omayan. So the second Gold Coast election petition is the one I'm talking about, the 1934-35 election petition, which Kojo Thompson won. So in the court, they lost the case, and then the election was rerun. Of course, Molade Akiwumi supported Kojo Thompson heavily, going around writing articles for him, and then Kojo Thompson won the rerun of the 1934 election in 1935, and he became the member of the Gold Coast Legislative Council representing Greater Accra. Afterwards, the next election Molade contested, he lost to Gillis Heward Mills, who is the founder of the Abodo Chambers, which is one of the oldest chambers in Ghana today. So when he lost, then he continued to engage in his legal practice. Later on, he moved to the bench.
So this Hayward Mills will be the father of Bishop Dag Hayward Mills?
That is his grandfather.
His grandfather?
Yeah, so grandfather.
The Agbado Chambers?
The Agbado Chambers.
Interesting.
So he continued his legal practice, and later he was called to the bench, and then he became a magistrate. So while being a magistrate, he was transferred to many places, and then later on was also appointed to the, he was elevated to the High Court bench.
At what point did he become our second Speaker of Parliament? So this is obviously after Justice Quest,
yes,
who had 3 terms.
Yes, so this is in 1958. In 1958, when Quest was old, he decided not to go again. And then Molade came in. And Molade, excuse me to say, in 1956, when we had independence, he and Justice McCarthy from Sierra Leone were one of the first people to be granted Ghanaian citizenship. Because McCarthy was from Sierra Leone, Molade too was a Nigerian, as I stated. And as a result, he got his Ghanaian citizenship. And that qualified him to become the Speaker of Parliament in 1958 as our second Speaker of Ghana Parliament.
So are both his parents Nigerian?
Both his parents
are
Nigerian.
So he was Nigerian,
he was
of the Yoruba extraction?
Of Yoruba extraction.
But he lived in Accra?
He lived in Accra.
Which is why we are discussing him under the Greater Accra region. So he was not a Gan like that?
He was not a Gan like that, but he was immersed into Gan society. His father first. His father was with the Gan chiefs and all that. And his children, he lived and died here. His father lived and died here. And he and his siblings, all of them also lived here. Only one of them went back who's Abiola Akiumi. Abiola Akiumi, who is the second president of the Gold Coast West African Students Association after J.B. Dankwa.
Okay.
Who also became a lawyer in the Gold Coast, practiced in the Gold Coast, until he later went to Nigeria to become a High Court judge in Lagos. So only him, the rest, all of them stayed here. Even his uncle, who was also a newspaper owner in Nigeria, came back to Gold Coast and was also dwelling in Cape Coast, and all the children lived in the Gold Coast. So they became Ghanaians. And they married, as I have shown you, Red Sisters, marrying Ofeya Agyemang, marrying A.W. Kojo Thompson, marrying Kofi Edumwa Bosman. And he himself also marrying Alfredo Kansi's daughter and producing children. And one of his sons, Akilanu Molade Akiumi, also became a justice in Ghana. He became a lawyer and a high court judge. During the program of the judges following the overthrow of Nkrumah in 1966, his son became a casualty of what Akufo-Addo's program of sacking judges around that time. So he was sacked from the bench and he found his way in Kenya, where he became the Justice of the Supreme Court of Kenya. Wow. And he is well known. You just need to Google Akilanu Akiumi and what he did there. His father is the man we are discussing today, Augustus Molade Akiumi.
So it's a prestigious family of business and law people. But our Augustus Molade Akiumi was more a lawyer, judge, and politician than a businessman. I see. So what was his legacy in terms of his law practice? Any memorable things he did?
So his legacy, when you look at the issue of the it's called Rex versus Nnamdi Azikiwe, that famous sedition case. He was one of the people who did the backroom legal work. He drafted a lot of the briefings for Franz Dove. In fact, he was the one who was appearing at first at the magistrate court and at the high court until the case went to the Supreme Court of the Gold Coast before Franz Dove came in, and then to the Privy Council. All along, he was involved in those cases. He also did a lot of cases for his father, who was also involved in the cocoa business. It's his father's major counsel as a family lawyer. So he was involved in that. Again, whenever the Accra Gamambi party is in trouble, he was one of the lawyers. There were 3 top core lawyers of Gamambi party, which were Ofeya Kofi Edumwa Bosman, and himself. They were the people who were at all times representing Gamambi and Kojo Thompson's brushes with the law. They were people who were giving. When Kojo Thompson had a case with regard to his issue of punishment for in history, it is stated that he went to take money as an accusation from the Association of West African Merchants, and as a result, he was supposed to be moved from the Legislative Council. So he was sacked from the Legislative Council, and then the legal proceedings was also instituted to disbar him. The case even went to the Privy Council. From the very beginning, it was Akiumi and others that really gave him a solid defense.
So much learning, rich history. Unfortunately, that's all time will allow us for. Thank you for doing the listening. I am Caleb Kuda. Earlier you heard Bernardino Koku Avle, Godfred Akotobuafo, Susu Graham. Show is ably produced. Fred Tete Jabano, Sheba Arba Beni, who later joins us for the news at 10. Thanks to Edwin Kwaukofi for helping our digital audience reach us. Godfred Abeku Odum, the richest man. Thank you for doing the listening. Sheba Arba Beni joins us with the news at 10. Good morning, Sheba.
Good morning, Caleb. And